Hey guys, Figure Ahead here with M2dave and Plan to Win, and this is the Kryptonite Council podcast, episode 10. We don't have Tom with us. He may be able to join us later. If not, no big deal. But what we've got Plan to Win is our special guest who is definitely a favorite to take UMACon this weekend. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. Good times.
Pretty good.
How are you both liking your chances at UMACon this weekend?
Well, I think our car is going to be top 4 with me, Forever King, and M2dave. I'm actually a little bit more excited that M2dave's getting out to an event, and he's going to be able to start showing people what his Zod can do, because I know how good his Zod is, and
Yeah.
I'm excited for him to compete again.
Well, absolutely. We're going to get into UMACon. We're going to get into Dave's tournament debut and all that good stuff in a second. But quickly, I just want to jot out some really quick announcements, and then we'll get back into the main topics of the show. I got to stop real quick and say major thanks to Hitbox, who sent me a Hitbox for free from RDK. Man. Yeah, I'm sponsored by RDK, and to the gracious. It was awesome.
What is RDK for those that may not know? Because I don't know what RDK is.
Oh, it's West Coast. It's started by Godspeed, and it's me, Tyrant, and Godspeed, and it stands for Rushdown Kings.
Okay.
And it's basically just, you don't have to be a Rushdown player. I know.
I was gonna say.
What are you
people are like, whoa, Johnny Cage here. But all this kind of funny because I joke with Dave that I actually believe in the Rushdown Zod, and Dave's like, no, fool, it's zoning Zod, So there's kind of a joke there. But I got to send a huge thanks to Hitbox for allowing me to get a Hitbox from them, and I'm picking up Hitbox, and I'm not saying I'm going to use it for EC. Hopefully by EVO 2014 I'll have it down, but I feel it's necessary to capture Zod 100% for a lot of reasons. Also, I want to give out, Dave, what's that Catwoman player? What's his name that we play? Ra Helios or
Ra Helios? Yes, Ra Helios.
Yeah, I just added him too. Let me look.
I want to give a quick shout out to me finally finding a legitimate Catwoman player to play. So I want all the Catwoman players. I've visited your forums to see you kind of downplay this guy. He's outplayed every one of you Catwomen I played.
I would agree with that. Ra Evil Helios, right?
That's it. Ra Evil Helios.
Yeah, that is.
So I played him, and he doesn't know the Sinestro matchup, but I blew him up a little bit, but I could tell he's really legit. And he messaged me with like some good stuff, saying how he really wants to get better. And but yeah, he's definitely the best Catwoman I've had the opportunity to play.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that that character even exists in the game. And I finally found him just randomly. Like I ran into him in rank. He beat me like a close game 1-0, and I sent a message. I was like, hey, can we please get more games? Because I've never seen that. Like I want to play that. And we ended up playing like a 1-10. I think I won 10-7. But at the same time, I never knew back three, like his back three went under my back three.
Yeah.
I never knew that his back three went under all my trait stuff that advanced him right in front of my face. I've never seen like the whole 1-1-2 setup that goes into meter burn back three. It was a good learning experience. I played Star Charger. He's decent, but he wasn't this guy's level. So, and all you other Catwomen out there, you just trust me, listen to whatever they do post.
Dude, her back three has some interesting properties. Like, if she does it at the beginning of the match immediately, like you can dash forward and it will completely whiff. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And my final announcement, this is weird. I purposely didn't tell Plain and Winner Dave about this because I want to get their first impression opinions live. I want to hear if they hate it or if they just think it's a cool idea or it's an interesting idea. But I want them to digest it a little bit. So it's actually RTD's idea. With the whole AKA tournaments, we do the weekly tournaments on Friday nights. RTD came out with this crazy idea, and I actually loved it. He said, I'm going to read his message verbatim. He said, guys, I had this crazy idea for AKAs. We should allow online entrants. Now, hear me out. We should allow one online entrant to enter the bracket. Like, for example, he gives the example, Tom, Wound Cowboy, Plan to Win, Theo. They could pay a $5 small fee just like we pay when we come in person, and they would be entered into our bracket, and all their matches would be streamed. They'd have to be Xbox players, and it would be kind of like this massive wild card that's entered into the bracket that could increase viewership and interesting aspects of the tournament.
My
It's
initial
interesting.
thoughts on that is it's very interesting. It's a concept I haven't heard before. As long as the connection allows
Yep.
for it, you know. I
Yep.
mean, I think it's an amazing idea.
Our RTD said, and the AKs, we don't take them like super, super serious. I mean, our commentary is kind of fucking ridiculous sometimes with the drinking that goes on. But I mean, it could be fun. It could be interesting. It could be a way for other players who might need money to make majors enter our tournaments. And they could win the whole pot, and we'll PayPal them that night and say, hey, you won our tournament, yada yada. You have to be Xbox because that's where our stream setup is on at Reno's house. And well, for now it just has to be Xbox, but it can become PS3 as well. You have to have 20 megabyte download speed minimum and 3 to 4 upload minimum, and we need to see a picture. We might raise that download though. We don't want no shit connections. There's no wireless connections announced. And actually, I want to play like a first to 10 or first to 5 with that person just to test that connection because I'm a connection Nazi. And
Yeah, me
if
too.
your connection,
Me too.
if your connection sucks, I don't care if I just won the match or lost the match. I quit in mid match. I'm done. Like I don't want that win.
I mean, what's the point of playing? I mean, you know.
So I want everyone to kind of digest it. We're going to post an official thread about it soon. So again, imagine like 20 or 30, Atlanta Combat Arena participants, come to Reno's place, and then we have like Theo in the bracket. So it's like Theo is, he'll be like seated like high or like mid or wherever we choose how to do that. And all of those matches will be on stream, obviously, because he's online. And it'll be interesting. I don't know. Just it could add a massive, interesting variable to the whole thing. I
like it, man.
We want to do upper mid to top players. We might do something where we do like two mid players, two top players, or we might do one mid and one top player. We don't know. We just been floating the idea around. So that was my final announcement, I think. And then I'm coining the phrase Zalty. Salty with a Z.
I like it.
All right. With all that being said, sorry, I know that felt like a huge tangent. Dave, where do you want to go with the show?
Let's just talk about the patch a little bit to see how the game is evolving and how it has evolved so far. So I just want to ask the two of you and maybe Tom if he comes back later. Is there a best character currently in the game, and if so, who is it?
Go ahead.
You want to start?
I think that with the disclaimer that every character in this game will have even or bad matchups, but I think as a whole, I think the two characters that I immediately kind of go to is a toss-up between Martian Manhunter and Aquaman for the top two characters in the game.
I mean, Pick, what do you think about it? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, Matt and I texted about this the other day, and he said, who do you think the top 5 in the game is? This is who I think. And I texted back my order, and it was the exact same 5 that he said. I said, when you get down to the top 5 in the game, I think we're talking about, and I'm not going to do order. I'll just name them. I'll say Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, Zod, Frost, and Batgirl. And that 5th spot was extremely tough for me to decide. But I just think she doesn't have many negatives. I can't see her having that many bad matchups, and she handles the top tiers pretty well. The other two to consider, it has to be either Black Adam or Superman. I think NEC we're really going to see between KZ and Theo is Superman dead, or does someone else pick up Superman, and is he still alive? So I'm really curious to see what the future of Superman and Black Adam is at NEC.
Why is Martian Manhunter good? Like, a lot of people know why Aquaman is good because he's been around since the release day. Why would you say is Martian Manhunter very good or one of the best in the game?
Overhead teleport.
Yeah, number one for sure.
Yeah, moderate to upper moderate zoning. His zoning is not really a big deal. I mean, it is what it is. But he'll kill any zoner in my opinion. His trait is kind of goofy to where he can punish Aquaman's Trident Rush for free.
Yeah.
Because while he's blocking, he can just trade up, and even with the massive pushback, even when he trades up, he has a 5-frame forward 1 that he can punish, or a staining 2, I think is 8 frames, that he can punish at max range because he's traded up and get like a 35-40% combo. he's the best character to handle Aquaman's Trident Rush. Like if you Trident Rush Martian Manhunter, you're screwed. I just think his damage is great. His zoning is good enough. His mobility is probably top 2, top 3 in the game. He does not have weaknesses. I mean, the only weaknesses he has right now is not that many players have mastered him yet. I mean, I put it on the players, not the character. I think the character has all the tools to be a complete character in this game.
100% agree with that, man. I think he's a character that you have to earn that top tier status. He's not a flowchart, easy to use character. Like he takes work, he takes execution, and
honestly, is that true though? Like against zoners, he honestly reminds me of Smoke. He can, for example, against Zod, if you meter burn his teleport, the overhead one, you can do a 35% combo, and you have to spend another buff for the 35%. If he hits you, he does 40 with an untechable knockdown. So,
but you know, my only
I
agree.
Like if Sector had that teleport in Mortal Kombat 9, he would be top 10, no questions asked. He would have a safe teleport that allows him to close a distance on many characters: Kabal, Freddy, Kenshi, you name him. He would immediately be top 10. So he's pretty much built to destroy zoning. Now, how he does against the rushdown characters, against the likes of Grundy, Flash, I'm not really sure because I don't use him. But just seeing what he can do to Zod, some of Sinestro, Deathstroke, I think you can definitely make the case that he's going to blow those characters up, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far.
And I will say, I agree with you, but I will say that there are characters that have projectiles that are so fast that he's unable to react with overhead teleport. So in a sense, like with Sinestro, who I can obviously talk about, his Fear Blast, 9 frames, it's fast, it hits mid, it's awesome. He cannot react to that at certain ranges, so he has to anticipate it and he can let it rip. So if you can get Manhunters if you could bait out that overhead teleport and you learn how to back 3 meter burn it on reaction, then you could create some space and do some damage. But I mean, I don't know. I agree with M2dave though, but
the thing
it
is,
all
like,
revolves around that overhead teleport.
I think even his footsies are like, I think the cooldown from his trade is like 8 to 9 seconds or something like that. It's not a lot. It's very minimum. And once he activates trade, he pretty much has Superman range back then. I mean,
Dude,
his
stand 3 is amazing.
Yeah, it's from very far. Even his 2-2, you can do like 2-2, back 3. I know you can interrupt it, but you can just like 2-2, and it's I think only like 0 -1. It's really really good, like just to poke, hit confirm into 40% combo and continue from there. And I think like Pig said, his zoning isn't anything special, but it's there. It's there. You have to respect it because you can't projectile him back. You always have to respect the teleport because it leads to so much damage. It seems like you always have to respect that you can't toss projectiles. It's always like a risk against him.
So it's kind of going off what Pig said. For me, what makes a character so good, it comes down to risk reward. There's no risk at all. I mean, there's little risk for doing overhead teleport if someone can back 3 meter burn it off reaction, but the risk reward just isn't there. I mean, if overhead teleport would just do like a hard knockdown or something, I think I would be more okay with that. But to just get a solid 40% into more mix-ups off of a full screen safe teleport, I mean, for me that's a little off balance when you consider the risk reward of it.
Let me ask this question. Do you think that NRS has created a well-balanced game after, from what we've seen from Mortal Kombat 9? Pig, you want to comment on that?
I mean, I think MK9 was imbalanced and atrocious. And it was atrocious in terms of balance. I mean, why the hell would a Nebraska striker player travel to Evo with all these Chi-Chis, Kabals, and Kung Laos and Sonyas? Dude, that's a bad day. I mean, the Baracas, I can name you potentially 16 characters that if you mained from day one, a year later you're just like, oh, like this sucks. Now I gotta go back in the lab and learn either Sonya Kenshi or whatnot. with this game, we're only like I don't know, what are we, like 6-8 months into the game. I mean, I'm gonna go to the player select menu real quick, but just off the top of my head, I could probably name you 12 to 14 viable characters. I mean, there's Flash, there's Batman, Martian Manhunter. I think Zatanna. Zatanna could be viable, but she's probably more of a co-main. Aquaman, Raven, Green Lantern, Batgirl, Sinestro definitely, Black Adam, Frost. I mean, yeah, of course, Zod, Deathstroke.
Save that for later.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about him later.
yeah.
Don't worry. We'll get to that.
I would say Revolver and Pim Pim Gemma made everyone believers out of Lex. I think Revolver is getting dirtier with Lex, and that's a good thing. And I actually think Tyrant's proven Grundy can be very viable. Harley Quinn, we got Dagon, Saltface, who continuously make everyone look stupid about saying that Harley wasn't very good in the beginning. I mean, characters that I'll say this: characters who I currently think are not viable in this game. Watch me lose to one at NEC saying it. Cyborg. I'm not losing a Cyborg. Joker. And I mean, I kind of stop right there.
Yeah,
really
man, like if you would ask me that question, my knee-jerk reaction would be to tell you it's too early. It's too early. I had about an hour-long conversation with Tom today, and that's one of the things we talked about is we both really believe that this game has a lot of depth, and there's a lot that has been yet to be discovered yet. It's still in its infancy, in my opinion. There is so much left to figure out in this game, and that there are characters that just have not found the right player to really show off what that character can do. You know what I mean? I mean, I do have my opinions on who I think does have some issues, but even in that being said, if you can't punish Shazam's torpedo, he's going to give you problems. I don't care who you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and he's widely considered one of the worst characters in the game. So it just, I don't know. For me, it's too early to make that call. Like,
do you think the community will have those players who will have the ability to represent these characters that are not very used in tournaments? Because this game, Injustice, is still like a lot of people still don't like it in the community. They still always add, some of them, not all of them, because I don't want to generalize. They always want to add, where's MK? Or I'll play the next Killer Instinct. That's what CD Jr. said. I mean, does the game have not have a future, but are we gonna have these people who can who are talented?
Yeah, man. Heck yeah, I love this game, man. It has a lot of depth, and back to what you were saying about MK. I don't know, people may not know that I had some success at the beginning of MK9. But I ended up dropping the game because, in my opinion, unless you used a handful of characters, you didn't, like Pig said, why would you bother traveling for the game? So, but I feel completely different about Injustice. I think that there are so many viable characters. There's a tremendous amount of depth, and back to your point about, is this game balanced, Mario? I think that obviously you have your tiers and your bad matchups, but like Pig said, this is night and day compared to MK in terms of balance. And I think there's a lot of life in this game, and I think that it's too early to give up on this game. I think that there's a lot to be discovered. I'm still excited for it, man. I love it.
Let me ask you this question. You're obviously one of the best Sinestro players. It's you and Wound Cowboy. Some people predict, and I talked to Tom today as well, he predicts that Sinestro players will have a lot of issues going forward, tournament-wise. Because you have, let me ask you, because you know better than anybody. Who are potentially Sinestro's bad matchups, the way you think? I mean, who could they be?
Number 1, number 2, immediately off the top of my head is Killer Frost Aquaman. Number 1, number 2, immediately. Killer Frost, she could slide right into town. Slide under Fear Blast, be safe. You can't frickin', if you trait her, no, she slides right under trait. And basically, I do not lose to Aquaman anymore, ever, unless it's a really good Aquaman. But when I play a good Aquaman and they understand what Sinestro is capable of, he can completely shut down every single thing I can do. And for me to win that match, I have to get a life lead and I have to take risk. But I mean, I could spew on a little bit more about why those characters, but yeah, Sinestro has bad matchups, but I will be the first to tell the world that I get away with a lot of shit with Sinestro because people have not done their freaking homework with that character. I have, and Cowboy will admit it. I mean, Cowboy's amazing, and we talk, but I invented the Vortex for that character, and it is safe. It is viable. There is so much more depth to it that I still haven't really... I haven't posted all my videos. I haven't had a chance to really show off all my Tekken tournaments, and he's viable, but he's going to have to be used as a pseudo-zoner. He's going to have to be used as a rushdown character because his zoning is out-zoned by more than half of this cast unless I have trait. Once I get trait out, it's a different story, but yeah, he will have... I agree.
But what do you think about it? Like, Woon Cowboy on KTP said that Sinestro has bad rushdown. What do you think?
I disagree with that. I respectfully, Cowboy, I respectfully disagree with that. And look, it's undisputed right now that Cowboy's zoning with that character is enough to just rip people's hairs out and make their heads look like M2dave's. Like it's his zoning is godlike. But I will tell you that, you know, I switched on our console combat stream a few weeks ago, and I invited him, and there was like only me and him, and I was just showing him a lot of the corner stuff he's capable of, some of the mid-screen stuff. And he's like, holy shit. He had no idea. He has no idea about the depth of his Vortex and the safeness of it yet. Once Cowboy figures that out, he'll retract that statement, and he will be even more deadly than he already is. As in, I'm trying to... and I kind of foot and mouth say this because I've always considered myself a lame zoning type character. I have room for improvement with my zoning with Sinestro because I've been so focused on this rushdown. But, you know, long-winded answer, TFC, but bottom line is that Sinestro's rushdown is very, very good. Very good.
But do you suspect that, Woon Cowboy, his zoning is better than yours? Your rushdown is better than his. But so don't you think
that's fair? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you think he's gonna have a lot of issues in the future against Killer Frost? Because you can't really zone her. I mean, unless Sinestro has low fear blast in the next patch or something like that, I don't see him, winning that matchup anytime soon.
Did you say low fear blast?
Low fear blast, man. That's right. Unless
Dude, shut up. Oh my god.
Unless he has
I got kind of salty thinking about that. Just for a second.
I noticed that your reaction was like,
fuck that character. I'm sorry, man. I love you, man, but fuck that character.
It's all right. Well, you got to experience him at TFC, man, and I was sad when. And Pig, you know how much I respect you as a player. We've known each other for years now. But when I knew I had to play you to make top 8, part of me went, yes. And the other part of me went, that sucks for you, man. And then to see you freaking have to play Cowboy, dude, because...
The gods did not like me that day.
No, man. I think everyone in the top 8 at that tournament belonged there, but I do think that, and you could say this about a lot of people in that tournament, but yeah, you just, it's kind of strange.
I'll say this. I liked my chance versus 4 of the people who made top 8.
Yeah.
Like 4 people who made top 8, I would just say, I was looking at it and saying, you know what? I'd probably body 4 of these people.
Yeah,
obviously not the 2 Sinestros, so go ahead and use your imagination with other things. Anyway.
No, I was just going to ask.
Why couldn't you have just lost to like Rico? Like,
well, that's because I'm better than Rico.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see where that's going.
No, Matt, like I would have slipped you like a 50. I'd be like, dude, you're gonna make top 8 losers. Just lose to Rico. Let me play Rico.
And then I would have had to play a Sinestro mirror to make top 8. And I'm telling you that I hope that Cowboy and I have a chance on the main stage someday to highlight what that mirror match truly is.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna.
Oh, no,
Don't you think? Don't you think Cowboy's style is gonna have a lot of issues in the future? Because he won't be able to win like that against Batgirl, Zatanna. And you've already seen.
Yeah, yeah. If this version of Cowboy were to go 6 months from now, he would have trouble. But when you talk about a top player like Cowboy, he has the ability to adapt with the game and roll with the game. So I hope that he would be able to identify where he's getting blown up and adapt to it. But I can look at this screen right now and just think about my tournament matches and the stuff that perceived top players let me get away with. And I'm like, once the game evolves and people really know their matchup, Sinestro will be a lot more limited. A lot more limited. He was given a lot of help with the back 1-2 hitting mid buff. His dead zone no longer exists. I still think he'll be a viable character. Like, I put him a top 10 character right now, but as the game evolves, I don't know, M2dave. It's difficult to say, but people just need to do their homework.
Do you think, like, you're probably talking about defending against Sinestro? That's what you're kind of saying. Do you think the best players of this game will be, will know how to defend the best?
You mean as in zoning or Vortex?
As in, for example, like, if I'm gonna be the best player in Injustice, I'm gonna have to be able to block Sinestro's Vortex. Not every time, but most of the time. Or just defending against cross-ups, knowing your option, knowing, okay, how much advantage or disadvantage is this move truly when I block it. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Right. I think that his Vortex will always be viable 100% because there's so much depth to it that once I start getting reads on what you're doing and what you're blocking, I have 4 other things I can go to in the Vortex. Or if all else fails, I don't Vortex you, I take my damage and build my trait. If you land the hit with Sinestro, I still think you're fine. You're fine. I don't want to downplay my character too much because I think he's good, and I wouldn't be using him still if I didn't think that he had some life in this game. I have mixed feelings about that, M2dave, because I do get away with a lot right now, but I know that there's a lot of stuff I can do and know how to do that people will never be able to defend in this. I mean, they'll be able to block certain things, but it's not a high-low mix-up like Killer Frost. It's not black and white. I need to block high or block low. I can go high-low, front, back, throw. I have options.
Exactly.
I have unblockables with this character that people still don't know about. True unblockables with this character that, if done correctly to the frame, work every time. But
let me ask you. You made a controversial thread. I believe it was like at least a week or 2 weeks ago.
Which one?
The aggressive one where you were very mad and you were gonna quit unless the patch, unless the hotfix or a patch fixed the push block thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was mad. I was freaking angry because I took time off work. I booked hotels. I made plans to travel. I knew that NRS knew about the push block. I heard that there was a hotfix in the works. I play Forever King offline a lot. And he is good enough that he knows how to forcefully make the push block glitch happen. Every time he would get me in a block string, I would push block because it's something he knew how to do. So if I went to one of these freaking events with time, money, away from my wife and kid, and and I lose because of some stupid glitch, hell yeah, I was going to be freaking mad. So we were getting closer and closer to these events, farther and farther from the release of the patch, and my blood's boiling, and finally I'm like, if I don't put this out there and try to get a response and respect Apollo, and he finally responded, he's like, in the works, And I think it was coincidence by the next week that it was released. I don't think it had anything to do with my thread.
But are you happy with the hotfix?
100%. 100%.
All right. And like, do you appreciate what NRS has done? I mean, games always have glitches. In AE, you have the unblockables. You know better than anybody else, and they're not supposed to be there. And we still have glitches in Injustice, but but it seems like there's less and less with each patch. Would you agree?
I agree. And I think that this generation of gamers is spoiled. I think that they have no concept of what a truly broken game is, like ST. Now, I wasn't a top player in that game, but I have enough knowledge of it, and I'm around people that have enough knowledge about that game to show me why. To get a product and to have it patched, can you imagine if Scorpion was released and they could never do anything about that character? You know what I mean? Like, I really do respect the time and money they're putting into the game to attempt to give the tournament scene a quality game, even though we're not the largest part of their revenue maker for regardless of what people may think or not. But 100%, I'm happy with what they're doing with it. I said this on Twitter and I didn't mean anything bad by it, but there are things in the game that I refuse to believe that the developers and the testers at NRS could be stupid enough to not identify some of the strongest things in this game. I think they're left in there by design. I think you have Aquaman with all those tools by design. It had to have been purposeful, because if it wasn't, then whoa. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, because you mentioned Scorpion, and I'm listening to the Combat Tune podcast. I'm listening to 16-bit and Slips, and I have a lot of respect. And I have a lot of average respect for them. I just disagree with them sometimes, many times. What do you think? How do you feel? I mean, are they biased as far as Deathstroke and Scorpion are concerned? Because here's their argument. They're saying that they're always criticizing us. Tom, me, Pig, for trying to get Scorpion banned.
Well, I think they know they're going to get a reaction out of you, so that's why they bother you so much, and it's hilarious. But, how it's hard to argue with the fact that Slips has had a lot of influence on this game, and he comes from an extremely, extremely strong Tekken background. He's a smart player, but some of the things I heard him say, I kind of almost got in a car accident because I was listening to it on the way home from work. To hear him compare Scorpion to like ST Vega, and he made a few comments that pre-patch Deathstroke was absolutely broken, which I just need to breathe, because I don't even know where to begin to disagree with that point. You could still advance on Deathstroke. He still had a lot of unsafe things. Obviously, he did more chip with his guns. Low gunshot was better. His air gunshot was much better. Now he's like on a cloud in a parachute floating down to the screen after he shoots. Like, the character was not broken, so I don't know how Slips can say that. Like, he was good, but he was beatable. He wasn't Aquaman. And then he was defending Scorpion, saying, well, this generation of gamers just is not used to high mobility characters. That's not true. That's completely untrue. You cannot ignore the fact that he had a move that completely controlled the entire game and left him at crazy advantage, and he broke the game. He broke the rules of this game. I mean, in a game that doesn't have a block button, he broke the rules of the game 100%. And I still think the character's good. I don't think he's near what he was before the patch, but Scorpion's still good, but he's not dumb. But so when I hear people like Slips say things like that, I kind of like cringe and go, man,
I don't understand how
I just don't understand the logic.
He's an experienced. He's a legend in the tech community. I mean, that's what he is. And
people may not know that, by the way.
But the people deserve to know, because he's a very experienced fighting game player. But for him to compare to Scorpion to SD Super Turbo Vega, or Claw as they call him, I mean, just watch any match with Claw and then watch a normal match. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, you have a character literally flying on the screen back and forth.
And why? Why?
But
Because
here's what
right.
they think. They think I'm mad because the zoning, because I can't zone. Dude, SD Claw shits on zoners as well as he does on rushdown characters. They can't catch him. Same thing with
Yeah.
Scorpion. You think
Yeah.
Grani could catch? You think Grani could ever catch Scorpion when he
No.
was, No. It doesn't make a difference.
But M2dave,
think-
why does that make it okay? Slip said.
But I talked to
Yeah.
60-minute. He says, but we don't think he's okay. We never said he was fine. Okay, then what problem do you have? He was nerfed overly. I would agree, overly probably. But with that kind of design, I mean, how do you balance him? I mean, do you want the teleport to be 0, the meter burn 1? I mean, what do you want it to be? I don't understand, what their view exactly of it. But it seems like, to me, Slip is salty that Scorpion is not as good as he wanted it to be. That's what it seems like to me. And I'll admit, I'm salty that Deathstroke is not as good as he. But he's trying
me too.
He tries to sugarcoat it, like trying to, he would never admit that. He hasn't been on the podcast yet.
Well, look though, I'm not. This isn't a discussion about Scorpion. I think that his build right now is fine. He's beatable. He's viable. But what we're talking about is how someone as good as Slips could say things like Deathstroke was broken before he was patched. You know what I mean? I'm just
Actually, 60 was saying it too. And I know why he was saying it, because Slips mopped his Killer Frost up back then. He was like, oh, wait a minute. This is one of the few matches where I can't fucking slide all day and put my...
I know.
Right. Okay, so this therefore must be broken. I mean, that's the kind of probably attitude that they had.
Well, I hope that they didn't have... If that was the attitude, I hope that their influence was somewhat limited in the decisions for those characters, but...
Wait, let me ask you this. Is it... I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that you used to use Deathstroke too, right?
Yeah, mained them.
What do you think about the character the way he is right now?
I think that my style is lame zoning. I think that Sinestro's Vortex happened by accident. I like him, but he still doesn't fit my style. Deathstroke's current build is now a footsies-based rushdown character that gunshots are used for more punishment tools. Air gun shot in reaction to Hot Girl's jump, or Black Adam's jump dive kick. I think the build of the character right now is so far off of what they gave us out of the gates that I dropped him. And the community may or may not know this, but if Deathstroke was left alone, I would be maining him, and my 2 top 8s at the most recent majors would probably be top 3s, because the character is just so much. The character was so much more of my metagame, my style, the zoning, the keep away. A character with flaws that required smart zoning. Now, scrubs out there are going, what do you mean? You could just gunshot. Well, you scrubs never learned how to block and then dash forward and close space and whatever. I'm talking at the highest level of play. He was beatable. For me to zone effectively with that character, I had to be smart. I don't know. I'm as salty as M2dave is about the nerfs that character got, but I'm not as salty anymore because of how happy I am with Sinestro right now.
There's, in a private message system, in a private conversation system, some people are talking about matchups, and I was looking at Slips' one, and he has as many bad matches for Deathstroke as I do, about like 9 to 10. How can a character...
Actually, make that really clear. That when I read that was... It made me just go, oh, like.
Pig is my witness, and I don't know whether Matt is in the conversation too. But the point is this: he has as many bad matches for Deathstroke as I do. In fact, I think he has one more actually. And then
what are you saying that Deathstroke? Elaborate on that, because I'm not understanding.
He was saying pretty much that Deathstroke was a top 10 character on the show. That's what he said. Top 10 character. But how can a character be top 10 when he loses to the third of all characters?
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is,
right.
like Dave has been saying he's not top 10 for the longest period of time, and Slip's been saying I think he is top 10. And then when asked to see his matchup chart, he had 10 bad matchups. And then Dave was like, "What the fuck? I have 10 bad matchups for him." You know,
Yeah.
it's like why are we not agreeing?
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
what-
so
what are
how
we-
can you both have that many bad matchups and then one person says he's good and the other person says he's trash? It's
Well, I think I don't. Well, I've done my share of exaggerations. I don't think he's trash, but he's definitely so far away from his from his original design on April 16th. I mean, compared to now, it's not even comparable. Like you said, he's not a zoning character, but it's clearly he's meant to be a zoning character. I mean, come on, can we get it? His dash is slow, his damage is below average. It goes on and on and on and on. His throw is, like compared to Zod, it's really, really bad. I mean, if you just look at all the facts, I mean, it's clearly that he's meant to shoot his guns. I mean, what the hell does he have the guns for if he's not going to shoot them, to keep
Yeah.
people away? It's so obvious. And then to tell, whether you're a high-level player or you're a scrub, I don't care. And then to tell, try to pretty much deceive the community and tell that he's top 10 or, he's this good. When obviously he's not. I mean, I'm not the best player in this game, but I'm not stupid. I know how good the character is.
right. So here's my point about balance is when you consider balancing a character, obviously the team at NRS looked at Deathstroke and identified some issues with him that, in their opinion, when you look at balance, you're not only looking at balance for the highest level of tournament play, you're looking at the casual player as well. You may be considering marketing that Deathstroke is in that new Arkham Origins game, which they should have left him good, right? I don't know. But there's so much that they consider when balanced that one of the biggest things that I heard was, well, Deathstroke made this game a nightmare for casual gamers. But my thing is that the people that were losing to Deathstroke before these nerfs are still getting destroyed by this character. The nerfs that were given to Deathstroke really only matter in the highest level of play. So for me, the argument is kind of like, well, you're telling me that the character was nerfed because online casual players just couldn't handle him, but those players are still losing to the same exact stuff that the character's doing. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know if we want to switch the direction.
No, let's go ahead.
Let me turn this into the Deathstroke show, but
Link to it. If you want to do it another time, with me, the two of us.
Let's do it, man. We'll give the community fuel to fire to crucify us, whatever. But I am down. Let's do it.
Let me ask Pig, because I was also listening to the podcast, and this is what K7, K Lisa said. He claims that Zod is the Kabal of this game. Pig, what do you have to say?
I'm a firm believer that Zod is still top 5.
One second.
I know. I think you and I are finding more issues that we have with him. Here's the thing that you and I are also finding out with Zod. He's definitely one of the hardest characters. Like, all right, for example, and this is no offense to okay, I'll use Sinestro for example. I was talking to Cowboy last night. I was walking my dog, talking to Cowboy for like an hour, and I said,
here's what romantic.
Yeah, it's kind of gay, but anyway. So it was like 2 a.m. So I said, here's my problem with fighting you. I had a salty set with him. I lost 8-20, which is miles above what I was doing a month ago. I'm getting really, really good at the matchup. However, 8-20 doesn't sit well. So I call him. We're talking the matchup. I'm like, help me, man. Talk to me a little bit. And we started talking about it a little bit, and I was like, what really pisses me off about the matchup is with Zod, I have to do 6 times, 7 times the amount of work that you have to do. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing down forward laser cancel, down into instant arrow Zod ball, dash forward, down forward, meter burn laser, and here's what you're doing. Down forward 1, down forward 1, down forward 1. That's all he's doing. Just down forward 1. Just well placed down forward 1. That's all he's doing. And I'm working my ass off over here, trying to do this, dodge this, do this, all this shit. And then, so what I'm saying is, I feel like, and David and I have talked about this, I feel like we have to work harder in a 5-5 matchup than the other character might have to work, because their character might be easier to use those tools. Whereas I feel like if we fuck up our tools, although they might be superior, it's harder, it's easier to fuck them up, I guess. But Like for example, like Dave and I talked about, starting to think Aquaman might be 5-5 matchup. But it's harder for the Zod player to get on the level to where it is 5-5 versus a top player looking Aquaman. He can get on that 5-5 level with Zod pretty quick.
Well, can I say something to that point, Pig?
Yeah.
I prefer a character that's perceived as top 5 to be harder to use. I don't want to see, let's be ridiculous and just say Cammy and Street Fighter is so ridiculously easy to use. You don't earn that level of play. I don't mind that you guys have to work hard to earn that level of play with Zod because, one, you have to be good enough to use them correctly, and you have to earn that level of play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get your point, but I like that Zod is harder to use, and if you do get him to where you're maximizing his tools, he's top 5, but you're earning that right, you know? Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And actually, I agree. I like it too. Like I like to work, and I like feeling the work. Maybe not when I'm losing 8-20. I don't like it, but it feels good when it feels good. It feels good when I hit all the right buttons. Like it feels good when I hit all the right things in the right time, right space, and it's like, yeah, that shit felt good. Like when I Zod charge in, cover. I make my Zod charge, say for the trait swipe, 4-2-1 laser, cancel laser into an overhead grab. It's like, versus him just going down forward 1, down forward. It's like when I hit that versus that, and I put him in so much block stun, he can't use trait. Yeah, that shit feels good. I'm like, yeah, that made me, that's boss. But I don't care what they do to that character. I mean, he is my favorite character in DC Comics since I was 4 years old. It's a dream that I get to play him. So regardless, I'm married to him. Like we're doing it, So here we go. But
it's a good thing that character wasn't Shazam that you had posters of your bed and stuff.
Joker, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I'm like so emo by now, but more than usual. But anyway, more on the topic is, I've even stepped out of my comfortability and just I'm honestly really comfortable in 99% of the matchups in this game. Just like 1 or 2, it's just like I still got to work on. But I'm trying to relearn how to play video games with a hitbox because I know that if I can master a hitbox, I can get a lot more out of my Zod than I'm getting with a pad. Because some things that I do in matches versus Sinestro, like if I try to do like a couple of instant Zod balls, if I fuck one up, I get hit by a boulder or a fear blast. Whereas if I did a perfectly placed instant Zod ball, then I recover fast enough. It's a free trade activation. The ball might still hit him, and then I get a free combo grab. So, there's little things like this. I go back and watch the videos. I'm like, God, if my execution were better here, then I could do it. So that's why I'm stepping out of my realm and training on a hitbox now and see if I can, use some of the guitar skills or whatnot and just say if I can hone into this sucker and just take it with me everywhere in practice. I'm not going to use it anytime soon at a tournament, but until I get really comfortable, I think it's going to take a lot of time. But, going back to the original thought of, is he the Kabal of Injustice?
No way.
No, he's not the Kabal of Injustice. If you play certain characters in this game versus my Zod or Dave's Zod, yeah, it's going to feel like he's the Kabal of Injustice because I think, and I'm going to say that too. Zod is hard, and it's hard to have a really good Zod. And that's why a lot of people still haven't played a good Zod yet. And
yep.
This is going to sound cocky, but I'm sorry. If you haven't played Dave's Zod or my Zod, I'm not sure if you played Zod yet.
I agree with that.
I want to add Wonder Chef's name to this list. However, he abandoned us. He left Zod. So you know what? We're leaving Wonder Chef. Because there's so many times I have tried to talk to him the way I talked to Dave. Dave probably gets tired of me talking to him. Like, I talked to him so much about Sinestro and Aquaman. Because why? It's all I want to do. I want to learn those two matchups. I want to master them. Anytime I try to talk to Wonder Chef about it in the last 2 months, he's like, he didn't want to talk about it. He would rather pick like Green Lantern. I don't want to pick Green Lantern. I want to work out my bad matchups.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question, because I've played M2dave now probably close to 1,000 matches offline since we've been playing this game. M2dave, what is your opinion of the Sinestro Zod matchup? What is your perception of it that might differ from Pig's perception of it a little bit?
I think when I played you yesterday, they kind of opened my eyes about a lot of things. And I was wrong when I claimed that the mix-up, that the full screen mix-up with the low laser and the bite cannot be reacted. It actually can be reacted to, and that hurts. That's a really big issue, because that's 40% that I cannot depend on anymore. Full screen away. So what does that mean? I don't know. I'm gonna have to adjust my style. Not against all characters, but against some for sure. I think that makes the Sinestro matchup harder. Aquaman matchup makes it harder. And some other ones, like not necessarily Martian Manhunter, because he can always teleport anywhere, but definitely those two. I don't know. I feel like when I fight you and I fight Woon, I feel like I'm fighting two different characters, honestly, because you still win with the Vortex.
Yeah.
He wins by just zoning, pretty much. So I do better against you. I haven't fought him in probably a couple of weeks though, so I don't know. But I'm like Pig, man. Like, I still want to use the character. I want to see, because I feel like, Pigs, like, this is where Pig and I, we sometimes get into the army. It's like, it's 7-3, it's 7-3. It's like, Pig, man, let's try all the options before we, before we claim 7-3, or, before we claim that our character loses 7. I just want to make sure that I try everything before I claim, you know what, he loses it. Because I still have some, I think all good players can visualize. They have something in their mind when they think about a certain matchup. They visualize it. They can say, maybe this is going to work. And then you try it. If it works, good. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I don't know. I think, for now, I think Sinestro wins 6-4. Could it change?
I agree.
Maybe it could, but I don't know.
But what is the other element to our matches now? It's not just the character. It's the player too. We're making reads, like we're picking up on tendencies. So, the character can only be used to justify a matchup so far. When I talk about matchups, my 5-5 might be a 4-6 for another Sinestro. You've played me so much now that you're able to pick up on some reads about things that I may be doing, So it's not just the character, it's also the player being able to make those reads, and I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that is a good point.
Yeah, I agree. And I think for us to fully understand what that matchup number is going to be, I think Dave and I are going to have played, cowboy style and your style playing to win, Matt. We're going to have to see every side of the matchup. And luckily for me, I need to give a major prop to RTD, who has stepped up his game like no other. I gave him every single matchup video I've had with me and Cowboy for the past 2 months. He actually watched like 4 or 5 hours of that crap, and he's copied Cowboy, and he loves playing to win. I think he actually likes playing to wins a lot more, because he always talks about playing to win. It's like, man, it's just sexy. That's I love the way he says it. And he's all about the Vortex. He loves the Vortex, whereas he'll Vortex 80% more of the time than Cowboy will. Cowboy will usually end in combos, ending in charge to get the trait and whatnot. But he's really stepped up his game. So therefore, like, finally, as of like Tuesday this week or Wednesday, I played him and I was like, oh my god, this feels like what I need. Thank God. So,
well, now RTD is a former Evo champ for Soul Calibur, right? Like, this dude is legit.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he's basically, I looked at RTD like the Rio of the Soul Calibur community. Nobody wants him in the pool. He wins almost every major. He's always at the MLG top 8 championships and the arenas and all that, and the Evos and all that stuff.
He's legit.
He's RTD, and thank God that we have him in line, and thank God he's also playing the game with us, because that's more hype to the NRS scenes. And hopefully he'll carry over to MK10, and which he's already expressed interest. Actually, in the later part of MK9, when he and I became friends, he wanted to play MK9, but he just realized he's 2.5 years too late.
Right.
You just can't come in 2.5 years late in that game, in my opinion. But so I guess what I'm getting at, it's definitely minimum 4-6 right now. But that's why I know Tom blows me up on this crap. He'll say, "Damn it, Pig, you'll play 20 games and name a matchup." I'm like, no, it's something called a living matchup. Like, I currently call it this, but I'm fully open-minded to say, you know what, it probably will be this, or I could see it going this way too.
But what I would like to make the push for, Pig, is when you say that matchup is that number, that's your number. Do you know what I mean? Like, when people talk about matchups, they, like, a perfect example is TFC. Rico got his run back versus me. He picked Aquaman. He blew me up. At the time, had no experience versus that character. But then you have Cowboy, who plays one of the top 3 Aquamans in the country weekly, and Michelangelo knew the matchup so much more that for him, it was a 5-5. Probably it's still in Aquaman's favor, but for me, it was a 7-3. But that's my fault. That's my experience. So, like, I get sick of people using matchups as I lost because he used this character. No. Play to fucking win, man.
Yeah.
Pick a different character then, or go in the lab and figure it out. Like, go play checkers or something. Like,
No, I agree with you on that. And my biggest problem are the 2 people that I need to train with are the 2 people who beat me at TFC.
Yeah.
And one of them, no, it's cool. No, one of them, lives off in West Coast and can't really play me that much. And, I've had opposite schedules of you. So it's actually a godsend that I finally have a third RTD that I can actually start training with now. Like, like for example, back in MK9, there were like literally 2 to 3 legitimate Scarlets. And when people go to tournament, they never seen a Scarlet before, they get blown the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
And happens that probably the second best Scarlet in the world was Lord of the Fly. And I used to play him every Sunday watching football for 8 hours. So then when I heard all day and night, ooh, crazy Dominican Scarlet, it is free NECA, the best in the world, NECA. I heard that shit for 6 or 7 months. Free, fuck you up, NECA, blah, 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 blah. And then I played him in MLG Dallas, and it was like the quickest 3-0 I've ever played. Why?
That's awesome.
Because I've been playing Lord of the Fly for about 1.5 years, and that shit was free NECA, but it was free for me. So I mean.
So Pig, why do you think I was so mentally prepared and I was so prepared to play you? Why do you think that is?
Well, 2 things. 3 things. One, you're a great player, and everyone knows that. The second thing is, your Lord of the Fly is M2dave.
Exactly.
But the third thing is, honestly, when we played online our first set, you had never seen that stuff.
Exactly.
And because of it, I blew you up. However,
you did, yeah.
But however, you're just like me. It pissed you off, and you called Dave, and you grinded the matchup to no end to where you knew that you would have it on lockdown next time. And that's who you are. That's who I am. That's who most of us are who compete. And I felt the blunt of that at TFC. I was like, yep, he did what I would have done.
Yeah.
So it's all compliments to you. It's
yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, and now I'm trying to do that too. I'm not as close, but I tell you this, I hear about all these East Coast Sinestros getting ready for the 2 Zods coming to NEC, me and Dave. Hear about all these, I'm not going to name any names, but top players picking up Sinestro as a new main or a counter main for me and Dave. I got to tell you, I got to warn you guys, that ain't going to work.
No,
Good
it's
luck.
not.
You better pick your Black Adams, your Supermans, and your this and that, or you're going to be fucked. Like, if you think we're not grinding that matchup to no end, then you're wrong. But anyway, they can do whatever they want. I'd actually prefer them. I mean, if your name's not Wound Cowboy and playing to win, and you pick Sinestro on me in a major and I win, oh my god, that's a great pop off opportunity. Oh my, I will literally probably set myself on fire and just start going nuts.
Oh man.
I don't know what
I gotta say this. Speaking of like tournaments though, like at TFC, I don't know, you guys, no one got to witness Pig's face in pools when the Zod trait glitch happened both times. Mid-match, he is cussing like a freaking sailor, man. He was just playing his match and going, motherfucker, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding me? Like blowing up. Oh my god. If he would have lost because of that, he would have flipped over the table. Paulo would not be alive. NRS would be bankrupt. Oh my god. It was, but anyways.
What do you think? Actually, going to that point, what do you think about like even Wound Cowboy on the podcast called you a very emo player? What do you think about that?
No. He didn't say emo. He said
emotional. Okay.
I think emotional is different than emo. Okay, so for example, emo is just.
Is that Tom?
Yeah, emo's Tom. But like with me, Emotional means if I win like a big match. Okay, for example, like one of my best pop-offs was against Kerbalicious. Okay, I got upset by an MK9 MLG Anaheim. I got upset by the Sonya player from New York. What's his name?
Ryu?
Dude, yeah, Ryu. No, what?
Yeah,
Why can't I think of his name right now? It's driving me crazy.
Ryu 48?
Yeah, Ryu 48. I was confusing him with I was confusing Ryu 48 with Ryu, the Aquaman player.
Oh, okay.
And it was doing something in my brain. Anyway, so Ryu 48. Anyway, even Ryu 48. He came there. I was up 2-1. He came back, beat me 3-2. I left the place. I went on like a 45-minute walk, just screaming in the hall. I was so pissed. And I came back body Wonder Chef, and just went to my hotel room. I didn't talk to anybody the rest of the night. I said, I'm so pissed. And every time I walk around the hallway, I would always hear random people say, ooh, Pig's got to play Kerbalicious. Kerbalicious is going to win this whole tournament for free. He's got to play Kerbalicious tomorrow. It's Kung Lao, blah, 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 blah. So then, like, okay, I had to hear about that for 24 hours. So then when I beat Kerbalicious for free, 3-1, I popped off like crazy because I'm an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeves. And if I'm sad,
you care.
If I'm sad, I want people to know I'm sad. If I'm happy, you're going to know I'm happy. If I'm extremely excited about a win, people are definitely going to tell I'm extremely excited about a win. Like people, I don't shelter myself. I'm very open emotionally. They can just see how I am. But emo, nah, I'm not constantly emo. Like when I do well, I'm well. But if I do bad, I'm pissed. So it's because I care. But it's because I care, you know.
If you didn't care, then you shouldn't be competing.
Yeah, and that day against Kerbalicious, I cared a lot. Like literally, I went to a Coke machine and heard like 4 people talking about, God, Kerbalicious is going to buy the shit out of him. I heard online, Kerbo beats Pig like 20-0, which is bullshit because if people don't know, if you never played Kerbalicious online, his modem is actually a wet sock plugged into the wall, and it's actually not even a modem. It's literally the worst connection. He has like 1 megabit down, 1 megabyte up. It's the reason why people thought Kinshi Cage was 4-6 or 5-5 Cage favor. You know, and I kept telling Kerbalicious that shit is not going to fly me online. Dude, go back and watch that match. That Cage was free. He got like 10% off my health bar per round.
Kerbo on blast.
No. I love Kerbo, and he and I are good friends, and that did suck. None of that was about he and I, like our relationship, like our friendship and stuff. Like we have a great friendship. A lot of people don't even realize that Kerbalicious got into tournaments because of me and my phone call to his mom. Like a lot of people don't realize that. Actually, I called King around the same month and got him into tournaments as well, and got him involved in his local scene.
Constant combat.
Yeah, and but no, I'm really good friends with Kerbalicious. We don't talk very much right now because he didn't play Injustice, and I don't know. He's busy with like sign up for college or something. But But I try to install youth into our scene because I think I saw something great in that kid, and we played, and I wanted to get him involved. And we had to play at our first tournament we attended together, and it did kind of suck. But going around the hallways and hearing it all day, I mean, if that happened at NEC, if I heard that, if I win the next day, I'm going to blow up in that person's face, and that's kind of what I did. So
nice.
I think I broke Guanamu Kun's hand or something. It was funny. He like high-fived. I mean, he said I broke his hand or something. I felt really bad, but.
Oh, you're talking about the Cyber Sub-Zero player?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Did you have a chance to look at? The Tom Brady videos that he posted earlier on Test Your Might? I believe the thread was called. I forgot what the thread was called, but it's something.
Like Brady Cast Returns or something.
Yeah, so Brady Cast. What do you guys think about that?
I think Tom is entertaining. I think that people, he puts himself in a position that, he responds to many people that give him criticism, good and bad, and people know that he's easy. They can get a rise out of him. So I think that he's a public figure in the scene, and I think that he's extremely entertaining. So I don't know. I think anything he puts out there is worth watching for sure.
Have you watched it?
No. I said it's worth watching, but it's not worth it to me, I guess. I don't know.
Here's my honest thoughts. I woke up today, realized it's Halloween, and then I saw the Brady cast. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I get to see, what's on Tom's mind. I listened to it, and then it occurred to me that, yes, it is Halloween. I think Tom decided to wake up and dress up as Tom Brady in 2011.
What does that look like?
because every single thing he said happened in the months of April through July in 2011. I'm sitting there listening to it like, did I just get into a DeLorean, Back to the Future style, and go back to I mean, what happened? Like Groundhog Day? Like, what is this? And he was talking. He was complaining about misconceptions, and he's right. I'm not saying Tom's wrong, but I'm just saying this could have been. I felt like my ex-girlfriend from 7 years ago, like, just randomly called me up and said, "We need to talk about this." And it's like, what? This happened 7 years ago. Why are you talking to me about this? And she's like, yeah, but you called me this and this, and you. I'm like, bitch, this is 7 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're crazy. That's why I left.
So, are you saying that we should just ignore it? Because what would you do to the crazy girl? I mean,
here's the thing. I think I talk to Tom all the time. He's a very good friend of mine. I definitely think there's, I won't say an agenda, but every time, I mean, come on, when he loses, people like to see him lose because it's a blow up or it's something that he said in the past,
And people know it affects him. He walks around
exactly, and that's the thing, though. I just wish, I just wish he would just ignore a lot of these people because they're trying to get a rise out of him, and they do. Yeah. So he just gotta, but he just gotta, I always keep telling him what these people say, whether they're high-level players, whether they're scrubs, mid-level players, it doesn't really matter who they are. Because, I mean, he's one of the most successful fighting game players that I know of. I mean, he's won tournaments, he's worked for NRS, he's working on some other projects right now. I mean, he's pretty much done it all, really. I mean, he's doing what some other people wish they could do. They're getting paid for playing video games, or they're, testing and getting paid. So why would you, a random person test your mind, a random person on a Twitch chat, why would you let that person bother you? I just don't understand it.
Because that's his personality, man. That's his character.
I don't know. If anybody's more emotional than me, it's probably Tom.
Probably is, yeah.
But he has. I don't think he enjoys the positives as much as I do, but he definitely indulges too much on the negatives. I will say this about Tom. Tom, top 8 Evo DOA player, had about 10 MK9 top 8s in 3 years. Played possibly one of the worst characters in the game in MK9.
Absolutely.
And then you tack on that he had 10 top 8s in MK9. He beat like the Kabals and Forever Kings coming out, power up, and this and this and this and this.
And
I mean, it's
Master D's Kabal, console combat. He definitely, I mean, he overcame some very difficult matchups.
Absolutely. He's the only Sub-Zero besides Denzel that you just kind of fear. And Tom is an absolute great player. The reason why companies hire him to do strategy guides and why he's an MLG commentator for our game is because he's accomplished and it is who he is. My one recommendation to Tom is stop letting the nobodies bother you. They don't matter. They're not going to matter. They don't matter in your daily lives. Just let those dumbass people just burn themselves. I mean, they don't. They're not going anywhere in life. They're not going anywhere in games. They're not going anywhere in competitions. They're not you. They want to be you. They want to see successful people like you, Tom. They want to see you fall. And anytime I make any kind of jabs at Tom or this or that, I mean, for me, it's like me going to Lord of the Flies house and busting his balls about something. Except Mike doesn't go emo and hit me and say I'm not going to talk to you for 2 weeks. Whereas Tom, I think Tom would probably, or he'll like pop off about it, and then he'll go call Crazy Bone on the West Coast and pop off about me to Crazy Bone. Crazy Bone's like, what the fuck are you talking to me about? Tom. That's the difference of the two. Tom just needs to handle things better. But one thing that people can't touch him on is he's successful. He's been successful. He'll continue to be successful. And these people just love to see him fall because their own life sucks.
Let's move. I want to ask Playing to Win something. What is your story with Rico Suave?
That dude, man. I was always cool with Rico. I never had an issue with him.
He's also he's an accomplished Street Fighter player like you are, right?
He's good. Yeah, he's good in Street Fighter 4. He's really good, but that game, there are so many killers. It's so hard to make a top 8 in that game. But anyways, we showed up at TFC on Friday night, and I run into Rico, and it was cool. I was like, hey, man, we hung out. We went back to my room. It was me, Forever King, and him. And the whole night of playing King, he was just like giving him a bunch of shit, like playfully but seriously. Like, you guys always want to, say my character's bad. Well, what if I'm just better than you? This and that and this and that, and oh, it's the character, right? It's the character. So they start playing like random characters, and then eventually it gets serious. King picks his Batman. Rico picks his Black Adam. They're going pretty even at first, pretty even, but then King started winning about 3 games to his every one, and then Rico starts like getting pissed off and bitching about King's character, and I'm sitting there like, dude, you were complaining about the same stuff that you were just giving him shit about for, anyways, so there was a little overflow from that night, and I'm not going to get into all the details. So we're in the same pool. We get to winners finals of the pool, and he wins the first match. I win the second match, and I think at that point he stops and he goes, looks at me. And with the conversation with King the night before, he kept telling us, you guys always want to downplay this. You guys on these stupid websites, and you guys want to downplay your characters, and it was just being annoying. Like, I thought he was being funny at first, but he was being serious. So it was 1-1, and after I won that match, he goes, man, you guys always want to downplay your characters. And I snapped. I'm like, will you quit fucking grouping me with this you guys stuff? I'm not one of these scrubs on a website. And then he's like, just shut up. Just play. And I'm like, well, quit grouping me with these scrubs that you keep talking about, because I'm not in that group. And that was the last any kind of conversation I had with him. So then he's like, just play. So then I beat him. I beat the shit out of his Black Adam. Bad. It was free. And partly the reason I beat Rico is just because I'm a smarter player than I'm number one. But that was it, Then he proceeds to act like a little girl the rest of the event and go up to people I know and just like make little comments like, oh, Wound Cowboy's the best Sinestro free, like within my earshot so I can hear this shit, whatever. Like, that's fine. So later in the night I go, look, dude, heat of battle, let's just squash this shit. Let's shake hands and just get over it. And he's like, no, it ain't like that. No. And he just refuses to back down. And at this point, he just continues to say that he said nothing to provoke any of the stuff that I did. Oh, and mind you, when I did win that set, I just walked away. I pulled out my controller and just walked away. And I think that made him madder than anything else, because I didn't give him the opportunity to try to give me some shit. But, honestly, it's stupid. Someone that you don't personally know to make comments about their character is a very uneducated thing to do. I don't personally know Rico. We're acquaintances. But for him to not be able to squash something that small, it just kind of is, for me, a testament to that dude's character and whatever. I hear that he's a good dude outside of gaming, but in the competitive world, he's a prick. So, and I don't know if anybody's privy to what happened tonight.
What happened tonight?
He went on. There's a Facebook injustice group that has a lot of people in it, and out of nowhere, he makes a post that just says, I don't know. Here, let me read it verbatim. Let me get there.
Yeah, this is good. I want to get into this post that Rico Suave made, because Matt texted me about it, and I texted Matt back. And I was like, dude, I go to Facebook 2 to 3 times a year max. And I went for this because I thought it was about me. Because while Matt's getting this.
All right, I got it.
Oh, go ahead, go for it.
So, which, by the way, okay. So, is there anyone that can give me a run for my money? Don't know if it's me, but things are getting easier. I don't know. And mind you that CD Jr.'s been beating him pretty consistently in casuals, and then he starts making some comments about Junior and Junior not being able to win and all this shit. So then Junior's like, well, let's do the money match. And then Junior texts me, and I was like, well, let me chime in here. I thought we had squashed our shit, but I heard he's been talking crap about me still the past week or so. So I threw it out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm down to do a $1,000 money match at NEC, which the offer still stands. I probably posted it 3 or 4 times in that thread with him never acknowledging it or anything. And him blatantly just disrespecting the entire community to the point that Junior's pissed. I got kind of like weird about it. Then you have the Evo champ in here checking him too, saying, you know, KDZ was even in there making some comments. And now that I'm back in this thread, you can see that Rico posted a video of Fnatic going off on me for things that Fnatic doesn't even know about. There was some issues with a player in our scene named Oh My God, It's Andre that is probably the worst human being on planet Earth. And from stealing to lying to showing up to events with no money in his pocket, expecting people to take care of him, to opening car doors on the freeway like it never ends. So I guess he's buddy-buddy with Fnatic, and Fnatic decided to make a big rant about me. Mind you, this was before UFGT. Mind you that Fnatic and I actually talked at UFGT, and him and I are cool. We squashed our shit. We shook hands. You know, that was it, man. Like, so this video that was posted is completely irrelevant right now. It's funny, it's entertaining, but I urge you guys to watch it because it's entertainment and that's all it is. But I think, again, this is just like a testament of how childish that Rico can be, you know, like unprovoked what stuff. But so basically that's it. You know, I'm not going to harp on the subject too much because for me it's
I played him like a week ago. I played as Black Adam. He beat me 10-8. It was the best one that I've ever played. And I did beat his Aquaman pretty badly.
He's got a good Black Adam.
Yeah, and I talked to him, and we talked on Skype for like an hour and a half. And I don't know, I didn't, because a lot of people paint him as a whiner. I didn't get that impression. He told me his side of the story, and I don't want to repeat that because, only he can tell it. Maybe next time we can have you both. And
his
you guys
side
can
of the
talk.
story is simple. I just went off. I just completely disrespected him and didn't shake hands for no reason whatsoever. That's his side of the story. And if anybody knows me ever and gets along with me, they know that I would never, ever just walk away from someone after a tournament set, ever. So for that to be unprovoked is a complete crock of shit.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, from the interactions that I've had with him, like I said, maybe we can have it on, he wants to be on the show. We can have you guys talk it out, and maybe he just wants, he wants to speak, on his own. He wants to, say what he, wants to recount the events, from his own side. We can talk about it. But I'm not going to talk bad about a person that I don't know. So, and I've just talked to him a couple of times, so I can't really judge him.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
go ahead.
I like Rico. Rico likes me. I think for the most part we have a pretty good friendship. I think he doesn't like me because I don't play him on an Xbox currently right now, but I just feel like I don't want to. I was playing my training partners, but I read through the Facebook thing though, and that kind of pissed me off a little bit. I didn't like KDZ's comment about skill gap. I probably don't like his things are getting easier comment even more when he just got mopped up with, what was it, pre-patch Black Adam, which was a 4-6 matchup, probably maybe 5-5 at the time with Sinestro, and Matt just went in there, and I got there right. I flew early that morning to TFC, and the first match I saw on projection screen was Matt bopping Rico, and I was like, wow, Matt's gonna win this. This looks awesome, whatever, and then to go read that, like if I for example, imagine Cowboy playing when mopped me up, and I get on Facebook today. I'm like, things are getting way easier for me. It's like, what? Not really. Comments, Theo. Theo comment. I don't know about that, man. but I mean, obviously Rico is hella more accomplished than I am. He's won like 2 majors or whatnot, and this and that. But like, who says that? Like, you're now just
painting a target on your back.
Yeah, you are a target, man. Like, your Black Adam and Aquaman and your Sinestro are just massively targeted now. So,
maybe that he's just trolling or something. I mean, we've had,
maybe. I mean, if he is, he did a good job, and it's really cool.
Just to get a rise out of people.
Now, because in that thread you have people that live near him, that know him, that know this isn't a troll, that know Rico's character, and know that in this gaming world he's a prick. That's not a troll. He's in there because he's the kind of person that loves attention and loves praise. That's why. So it is what it is. The $1,000 money match at NEC is on the table. Sinestro versus Black Adam. Whatever. If not, I'll still be there. I'll still be there doing my thing. But anyway, let's move on from this. I don't want to waste too much time.
Let me ask you this question then. Do you think tournaments should be 3 out of 5?
Yes.
Yes.
And why do you think so?
Rewards the better player.
I think that we need to make a point here to discuss a thread that you recently made discussing the life bars in this game. Now, the reason that I feel a 3 out of 5 in a longer set would be a better idea is because, number one, the better player always wins in the longer set. You have a better representation of who's better. Anybody can lose a 2 out of 3 set. It happens. But the way that the life bar system works in this game is pretty unique, and I like it, but it favors, once you have a life lead in this game, like there are so many matches that I can talk about that once you have the life lead, it becomes nearly impossible for another player to come back because of the way the system works. So I favor a 3 out of 5 simply to let the better players shine. Let's advance the better player each time. I cannot say that any of my losses I've had in tournament, I can kind of blame on the shorter set. I think I would have lost them even if they were 3 out of 5. But, as this game evolves, I think let's let the better player advance more often than not.
I also don't think it's fair to for the players. I mean, you travel, you pay money, you pay money for the hotel, you pay money for the for the airplane, whatever. And I don't think it's fair, just basically to lose, in a close match and just go home. I mean, I think it should definitely be 3 out of 5. And I think my thread, it's definitely makes a good case for that. Because I think, would you get a Sinestro against Zod is definitely one of those matchups when you get a
100%. Whoever gets the first 50% lead is going to win 9 out of 10 times.
And I can tell you right now how some matchups look like. I hit him with interactable object, activate trait, hit him with another. That's it. That's it. I can win just.
I agree.
I can beat him right there. Let's say I guess wrong. He puts me into Vortex. That can be the matchup right there. And Sinestro, his Vortex may not be as good as Batgirl's Killer Frost, but that's the opening he needs.
I would argue with that.
Yeah, you would?
I think it's that good, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. I mean, it's just, and I don't think it's fair for either player for the match to be decided in the first 5 seconds. I just don't think it should be that way,
Yeah. And
I think 3 out of 5 would at least try to solve some of these issues.
Oh, and one other technical thing, speaking of threads, I know that you're Lord of the Fly, formerly the artist known as Miso Fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know that name, then you are an OG in this community. But
you've been around a while.
Yeah.
He's still on my phone as Miso Fly.
That's awesome.
That's Pig, that's how you know that you're old, man.
But let me talk about a couple technical things real quick. I won't be too long-winded about it, but frame data is important. If you may not know what frame data is, it's simple. If you take a move like Sinestro's standing 3, it starts up in 10 frames and it's even on block. What that means is that even on block means that no character has an advantage. Let's just say his standing 3 was plus 6 frames. That would mean that for you to hit me with a 6-frame jab, it's going to take 12 frames because I'm at 6+ frames, and then you have to count back to even when you can actually hit the move, and then there's another 6 frames for it to come out. So if I do hit you with the +6 move and you try to do a move that's 6 frames, I get a free down 1 and it frame traps you. So frame data is not accurate in this game. I mean, it is for the most part, but there are some discrepancies. But what I have relied on is a simple jump test. So all you can do is set your dummy to jump, not block, but jump, and then go up to him, hit him with whatever you want to hit him with, and then hold up. If you jump before he jumps, then you're at advantage. If he jumps before you, he's at advantage. So do the same thing, set the dummy on block, set him to jump. Block all, jump. So then you go up to him, you do a string and hold up. And it's the same logic. So if you're having trouble understanding what moves actually make you at advantage, that's a simple test that you guys can do. And the only other real technical thing I wanted to make a case for was MK controls versus alternative controls. With with the obvious being right in the the move select or the move listings with the directionals you have to hit, there's a couple advantages to both systems. The MK controls a disadvantage that if you're holding, let's just say Sinestro's shackles is down, back, down, down, back, back one. If you're in MK controls and you hit down and down back one, shackles will come out. So if we're playing footsies and I hit down, down, back one just to down one you, shackles will come out. You do not need to do the full down to back motion. You only have to do half of it. So if I go to down to somebody with Sinestro and I go down to down back and I hit down two, a boulder will come out because it inputs as down, down, back, back. I hope you guys are following me with that.
Yeah, the same thing
In
with
alternative
Zod, yeah.
controls, that doesn't happen. Alternative controls makes you go down, down, back, back, and then hit input the control and the move will come out. So that's just, if you're having issues, man, moves keep coming out randomly. That may be why you may want to consider alternative controls.
Yeah, I'm thinking, Pig, do you use MK controls for Zod?
I use MK controls, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped using Sinestro, because I couldn't punish.
Huge.
When I do, like, people, I've heard people say, like, out loud while I'm playing, why would he do point blank boulder? Do you really think I'm going to do minus 44 or whatever it is, like on block move point blank with that much startup? No, man, I'm doing back one or back two. You know, I'm probably doing back two overhead to punish, and yet I get punished for punishing because the dude who had the job to put that in the code, the programming of the game, it's a problem, man. It's not done right.
But you know what?
It also happens with Zod too, though. If you do down, the stupid slow ball comes out when you're just trying to do down, and you get really. I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem.
From crouch.
Yeah.
I will never. I'll tell everyone right now. I will never punish you with back one from crouch because I'll get a slow fucking Zod ball in your face.
Exactly.
Yes, and I will never use my faster 12 frame low.
I was told by, I wasn't told personally, but I actually made a thread about this a long, long time ago, maybe in June. And Paulo, the lead designer of the game, responded and said this is the #1 reason why alternative controls were created. So I don't know if it's engraved in, it is what it is. So I don't think they're ever going to fix it, but you need to be aware of it and you need to make your choice.
Yeah, I can't do alternative controls at this late in the game. I don't want to do that. But to me, that sounds like a Band-Aid to fix a Band-Aid statement.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we put a Band-Aid on a Band-Aid to fix this war.
Well,
it's
maybe
like,
they were busy giving us Scorpion DLC instead of fixing that, Pig.
Well, let me, while we're on this type of subject, I think I told both of you about this. I want everyone to try this out. Pig Zod, Pig Zatanna, get a human friend. I want you to go full screen apart, and I want you to crouch as Zod and have Zatanna do her trance move. Zod will block it crouching. Immediately after you block it crouching, stand up and activate trait. While activating trait, I want the Zatanna player to do trance again. Here's what's going to happen. The trance, so he'll block it crouching, he'll stand up, activate trait, but before he's safe to block, he'll get blown up by trance. So one person might say, ooh, you can't activate trait in between trances, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. I found out this is a major fault in the game. Some special moves, you're more negative on crouch block. Frost, her ground spike. Aquaman's from the deep. Zatanna's trance move on crouch. If you block those moves crouching, you're like 2 to 3 more negative frames than you would be if you blocked it standing. So take the same example and block Zatanna full screen away, activate trait, and then all of a sudden Zod can block the next trance if he blocked the first one standing. And I was going to make a separate thread or video about this, but I'll just go ahead and post it in here. And
I think you should still make the video.
Exactly. I think people need to know this isn't, just in case if they missed, your announcement of it. I think you should definitely. Because that's stuff people need to know.
And here's another thing. I think this is because it takes animation to crouch. Take Zod, for example. If I go up to Zatanna or any other character and I do back 2-3, Zod's back 2-3 is +2 on block. He has a 7-frame down 1. Or also, instead of do it against Sinestro, he has a 7-frame down 1 also. So basically, if I do back 2-3 and he crouch blocks it, it's a mid, then I'm supposed to be able to down 1 him before he down 1s me by a 2-frame advantage because I'm +2. We have equal speeds of down 1s. So I go to Sinestro, back 2-3, and I go to down 1. He's already crouch blocking. He will beat me to the down 1 every time.
Well, I wonder. I know that there is ducking. It requires a frame or two to duck or stand. There's like 4-frame or 5-frame window to actually jump. So I wonder if it has something to do with the animations. Like if you're blocking low and then you go to punish with the standing move, it's adding a few frames of startup just to be able to complete the stand and then do it. I wonder if it has something to do with that.
I think that is, and I think it is. I don't think it's an issue in the game. I actually think it's a legit function of the game, but I think it's really good for players to understand that.
Yeah, true.
If you block it standing, like Zod's 1-1-2, I'm +5, whereas you blocked it crouching, I don't know, man. I might be +1.
Right. So you guys got to hit the lab and know your character better than anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, and maybe that will increase the meta game and the read reaction game, the brain game overall, because people start figuring that stuff out and they start to crouch block my +5 string. I'll just cancel to a low laser, or I'll cancel to an overhead move or something to try to blow them up, trying to blow my frame data up. So it could be interesting.
Let me ask Plankton this question. Tell me about the Flash and how he does against Sinestro, because that's one character that I don't think people yet understand.
Well, if anybody ever in this community or wherever would ask me, Matt, what character do you feel is the best character that has not had good representation of in high-level play? And without question, I would have to say the Flash. Without question.
But by saying that, you're putting two people on blast, though. You're putting Zyfox on blast and AK Herald.
Well, I've never played AK Herald, so that's not really putting him on blast because maybe it is because he hasn't done a whole lot in majors, but I played Zyfox at Summer Jam or wherever that was, and it was 6-0, and I was barely even paying attention to the screen, so I don't know what the hype is about Zyfox. I guess I need to play him again. Maybe he's gotten better, but the best Flash I've ever played, and if you guys are in the tournament scene, you know who Master D is. Worst beating I've taken in this game, hands down by far yet, was to Master D's Flash. This was before the back 1-2 buff for Sinestro, so before that buff, there was a range that Flash could stand at and punish Meter Burn Fear Blast, Shackles, Boulders, with punish, jump back axe, with punish or trip guard, any like jump back 1s, jump back 2s I would do. He could see the kick, low ball, shield thing. He would jump over it, get a full punish, or whiff punish it after the shield. Like literally, and every time he touched me, it was almost 60%. Every time. So I still think that Flash, I'm excited for Master D to get done with school and start playing this game if he wants, because I think that he would really open some eyes with Flash.
Well, I hope he does, because that will make me a lot better, because that's the one thing I'm kind of missing. I enjoy playing with you, obviously. I do with King, his brother, but Master D is my cousin, man. He's family. If he plays again, I know I can get a lot better. But his Flash. He's good. I told Pig this a while ago, and I don't think he understood. I was like, dude, this character is frustrating to fight because you die in 2 combos. And I'm looking at all the other, they're not doing the same thing he's doing. He would do this.
No, they play mindlessly. They play mindlessly. They do random shoulder charge meter burns. They just try to go in. To play that character correctly, you have to think.
Well, I
You have
think
to-
well, I think the difference maybe is, I mean, Master D, he plays Tekken and he plays other fighting games, so he's he has more experience. I mean, he's been playing Tekken for like 6, 7 years.
And if you guys don't know Master D, he's had multiple top 8s in MK9 and in Tekken in his career. So he's another really good player.
Yeah, and
Well, I'm going to throw Harold a bone real quick. I mean, I played every Flash player there is. No Flash player makes me salty as Harold does. And it feels to me as what you're describing with Master D.
well, that's what
if I
it
make
should feel. Yeah.
if I make one mistake, he knows, and he will make me pay like 55, 60%. And bitch, you're in the corner. I don't even know what side of my biggest cross up's going to hit you on. And if it does,
That's yep. Yes.
I mean, this Wednesday I got to play with Harold for about a good maybe 2 hours, and you can ask anybody in that room. I'm probably dropping F-bombs like crazy. It's like, God damn, it's like just cross over this, and Harold even looked at me. He was like, "Hey, I know you think this is 5'5", I think it's 6'4", and I was like, "Fuck you, no, this is 5'5", you know."
Yeah, right. Don't want to dim it, right?
Yeah.
And it could be 4'6", but I actually do think it is 5'5". I think he was just outplaying me that day, and Harold.
Well, I can tell you this, just before you proceed. There were some nights it seemed like 6'4" the Flash, honestly, but because that character, like I said, he aside from maybe Grundy, he has the best comeback potential in the game. So the thread that I made, that doesn't apply to and Frost and maybe Batgirl, but he's the only character who can say I can kill you 2 combos. So like that thread that I made doesn't really apply to him. He doesn't care. As long as he has the trade, I don't care if he's down by 90% because he can make it up very easily.
Dude, he hits you once, he corner carries you, then he does meter burn 4-3 or that cross up thing, and he's at plus 4 or 5. Then he gets a free down 1 check or overhead check. Like I'm not complaining. The character I think is very good. He's just underrepresented. Harold, is he gone to majors, Pig?
He went to CEO, and he was bodying every human he came into contact with, and he went to Evo, and he was.
That's the Black Adam.
Yeah, he beat. He beat Slips in pools.
Oh wow, okay.
And Harold won his pool, but then he ran into Black Adam, and even at the time, he knew going into Evo, he didn't know that matchup. Like he played Smargasm. Smargasm would always blow him up with Black Adam. He knew that was going to be a problematic matchup for him, and I knew Slips was in his pool, so I gave him hell amount of Deathstroke experience that week or two leading up to it. I mean, I can play Deathstroke pretty well too, and he even told me, he's like, that helped him a lot. And but the problem is whereas Tom will run into Black Adams, and he has a problematic matchup with that stuff. Harold has problematic matchups with that. CEO, he's pissed. He lost to a Bane player. He had never played a Bane in his life before. He had no idea what to do. But Flash blows up Bane. He didn't know anything about the evade stops, all the charges. Like people might not know that Flash can just do his little projectile evade move, and if Bane charges, he'll just stop him like a blank wall right in front of Flash. He can punish 50-60%.
Oh,
Can he parry the throw?
I don't know if he can parry the throw, but if he sees level 1, 2, 3 Bane charge coming at him, Flash can just go, okay, bitch, here we go. Just evades it and blows him up.
Banes that just do random charges usually get double perfected by me. Like, that's not... If you do that full screen, you need to quit doing it right now. The only time you should be doing Bane charges if you read a projectile or if you're just canceling a string.
Or like a jump back, maybe,
Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to throw some love to a couple of Bane players I think that are just leaps above any Bane I've ever played. Max Intensity, he's the Bane guy. He's number 1. Number 2, Bipolar.
What makes him the best?
Max Intensity is exactly his name, and it describes the way he plays. I don't think the man knows what a back button is.
Yeah.
Like, he is constantly pressing the forward button with all kinds of attacks.
Maybe he thinks that the block button is like left shoulder or something.
Yeah. I think advancing motion is what he thinks it is to block. I mean, he's just constantly match starts, just like all in your face. It feels like worse than Doomsday's shoulder, back when none of us knew how to deal with it. He's just like constantly like in your face, and it overwhelms you because he wants to get you in that corner. If you have a multi-hitting wake up with full invincibility, he's going to take like 70% of your life pretty quick. Bipolar, that guy from Canada, that guy's really, really good too. Kind of opened my eyes to Bane a little bit. I haven't played Armas. Armas looks good. I haven't played Gur. Gur looks good. But just from my experience, I think those two guys are just those two, man.
What do you think that character could rank? I mean, a lot of people said he was low tier. I don't think he was ever low tier. I mean, he was.
I think the players were low tier.
Yeah, that's probably true. But
I think Bane is still evolving. I still think that, like I said before, that Bane's maximum potential has not been fully reached yet. But I think that he's getting close, and Sinestro does very well against him, so that's a match I don't really have to worry about. But I think to call Bane free is absolutely a dangerous thing to do.
I think the thing is, even though if you have Sinestro, if we can play patiently in corner, you would have a lot of issues, right?
Yeah.
Because your wake up's only one hit. I mean, he could. That's the one thing about that character. I think his comeback is really, really good. Not as good as the Flashes, but if he activates level 3 and he gets a couple of hits, I mean, you've already lost 50% easily.
I spam back 3 meter burn versus that character on wake up until he's in level 3 Venom. Then I literally have to guess command grab or just block.
Oh yeah, or just block. Yeah, that's a very interesting character that hopefully that everybody those players continue playing and evolving. We'll be interested to see what they can do.
Yeah, I thought I had the Bane matchup on lockdown until I played max intensity. I lost 7-10. I streamed it. I streamed it and everything. He was up on me like 7-2, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then I came back, but he won 10-7. And I'm going to put max intensity on a little blast here. Max intensity will not play you more than a 1st to 10. 1st to 10, he is out of there. I talked to Tom about it. I talked to every player about it. He will play you a 1st to 10. It doesn't matter if you pay him, beg him, anything. He's like, no, man, I'm out. That's all you get. Like, he just leaves. It's like a cardinal rule or something.
Now, is that Emperor Max? Is that the dude from GTA?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's the same guy from GTA.
That is the same guy, yes. What do you think about people who do that, though? What do you think about people who do that?
I think it sucks. Like, I mean, I think that's stupid. I mean,
see, no, they're playing for a different reason, Pig. They're playing online. They take it serious. If they beat you in a 1st to 10, they believe they're better than you. You and I and Tom and M2dave, when we play online, we're using it as a tool to learn matchups. So when we run into something we're not familiar with, like, for example, 2 nights ago, I finally played Tom, and we sat down at like 8 o'clock, and we didn't get up till 2 a.m. We literally played 100 straight matches. But that's just the mentality difference. You know what I mean? He's playing to prove that he's better than you. You're playing to get better. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I think the logic is.
Yeah, I mean, I will play, if I'm down 20 or I'm up 20, I will play you till the sun comes up. Like, if I want to work on this matchup, I will play you 5 to 6 hours. I do not care. That's why you're right. I hate it. I hate it when people send me like, yo, bro, let's go 1st to 5. It's like, what? What does that mean? Like, I just want to get better and learn. You're acting like this is fucking Evo World Finals.
Online players that do that, on blast real quick. If anyone out there thinks online matters at all for anything, you suck. There's no other way to put it. It does not matter. Online is a learning tool in this game. That is all it is. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. But some people, I just understand their mentality. But they use it, to claim, if they win at all, they claim, they want to claim that they're better than you. That's pretty much the, what they infer or what they try to say.
And then they'll see M2dave in a stream at a tournament in top 8 and be like, "Oh, dude, I played that guy online and beat him. I could be top 8 in this tournament." No, you couldn't.
Well, yeah. Let me say this: if I beat somebody 10-7. And let's say there was once upon a time, I was up like 8-2 or 8-1, but I only won 10-7, and I quit at 10-7. I actually walk away thinking I lost, because in the end, he was coming. Here he comes, So, and it goes back to our whole like 1st to 2, 1st to 3 thing. In the end, the better player. You play 50 games, the better player will have the better score. but I'm not bashing Max at all. Like I'm actually, like I said, he's the best Bane player, bar none, I've ever played. I just really wish he would drop the whole first to 10 thing, unless he's just
Well,
got some like
that
cardinal
could also
religion about
that
it.
that could also hurt him. If he doesn't know a matchup and he stops very early, he's gonna pay for it in a tournament, or sooner or later. If he, because that can help you, but it can also bite you in the ass. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
I have a comment to players that may be hungry to be better, is that you guys have got to accept losing. You've got to be able to lose to get better. If you start losing and you are like, "Oh crap, I'm looking bad. I need to quit. I I hate losing, whatever." You have got to be able to lose and learn from it, or you will never ever get better. If you think that every top player out there right now did not get initiated to this scene by getting their ass tore up, you are mistaken. Everybody got destroyed at some point in their career to get better. I played Dulcim and AE for 2 years and got destroyed before I started, winning my pools at majors. It's you've got to be able to get yourself to the point where you can take your freaking losses, go, why did I lose? Hit the lab, go watch videos of top players that use your character, and accept it. Don't run away, and you will not get better, guys. So this is constructive. So take it as you will.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Dave. Wait. Oh, Rico just Skyped me real quick. Ooh, this could get really good all of a sudden. Anyway, but I'll say this. Maybe it's Dave or somebody maybe about a month ago that really pushed me about this. But I feel like I spent too much time. I know I'm gonna sound like a dick and kind of an egotistical asshole when I say this, but I think I spent way too much time playing people that I beat the crap out of, and like to help them or to do this or that. Okay, lately for the past month, I've really narrowed it down to 4 to 5 people who can just stomp me to no end. And I have done nothing but got online, look for those people first, and if they're not on there, I go to practice mode. And I just don't want to play. I've gotten to the thing where I only want to play what I cannot beat. I only have fun now if I can play something that I can't beat, because that's exciting to me. I want to get better. I want to level up. I don't want to play someone that I can blow up 40-0. Now, there are a few people that I am trying to help with matchups and help level them up and things like that, because I really like them as people and I believe in them as players. And those people know who they are, and we always play. And I hope Cowboy kind of sees that with me, that I'm his friend and I'm trying to get him to help me up and these other guys to help me up, level up in certain matches. And I think my results have shown, because I'm improving every time. But what I'm telling everybody is, if you're constantly playing people that you blow up 30-0, you're not getting any better. Just like when I was doing guitar and music all the time, if I'm only playing solos, I can just rip to no end. I'm getting no better. I need to play shit I can't play until I can play it, and then I never play it again. I want to play something then that I can't play then. You keep trying to level up and push yourself as a competitor and a person in your craft.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you play people you beat all the time, you're robbing yourself.
You're not right. Right.
You're deceiving yourself into thinking you're good when you may not be so good. It's and I agree with Pig. I want to fight Moon Cowboy, playing to win. Tom Brady, people like that, just to level up. Even if I lose, I mean, when you lose, that gives you an incentive. You got something you have to work on. That gives you motivation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I'm like losing my voice. Rico just added me. God, everyone, look at your YouTube. When you watch this video, look at his Skype picture. It's him flexing in the mirror.
I mean, yeah. What else do you need to know about the guy?
So should we bring him on for a little?
Dude, I'm not dodging anybody.
Let's do it. I mean,
I don't want him to finish the show. Let him in and get him out. Let him say his piece, and then
we'll get him out. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, you guys continue to talk while I get him on. You guys do your thing.
All right.
Well, what's the next topic?
I just want to ask. Well, I was going to ask Plain to Win one last question. Like, I noticed, like, your phone. Are you hiding any tech, man? Because you got some videos. You got.
Yeah.
Are you doing that on purpose, or what's up with that?
Absolutely. There are things, matchup specifics, vortex specific, zoning specific.
Do you have
things
notes? Do you have notes in your phone?
Yeah, I have notes on every character in this game. Every
Okay.
character. I have notes on players too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and kind of tendencies I've picked up on, but yeah, absolutely. But my thing about that is like I get a lot of flack for, hiding stuff and not posting stuff, and I get it because people want to see it. But in the end, I'm spending time and money to travel to these events. You know what I mean? And I want to win. I want to have the advantage over people because I earned it. I discovered this stuff. It's in my back pocket, and if it's something that somebody has seen one time, they may be able to block it. But if it's the first time they ever saw it in a set with me, they will never ever be able to react or adapt to it within 2 games in a tournament. So yeah,
when you were first telling me about the Vortex, I was telling Master, he was like, you know what, he must be full of crap. I mean, Sinestro is a zoning character. How could he have a Vortex? We thought, oh man, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
But then when we played, you was like, oh my god, this character really is. This is kind of difficult to block.
Yeah.
He can hit me for the front. And he can, land, maybe throw me. Or maybe just end the combo and do the, and just fill it straight. There were options. And I was really, really surprised, with that.
Yeah.
But you're pulling an infiltration, and you've got like a book on your phone or something.
Yeah, dude. There's an amazing app called A Note out there. Yeah, I've got it loaded up with stuff. It's I definitely have it. I'm doing my homework, man. I'm competing.
You have
so,
you have to.
Yeah. So like if I lose, it's because I got outplayed. I don't want to lose because I wasn't prepared for something. But
I had the infamous notebook in MK9 that was massive. It sounds a lot like what you're doing, and that's awesome. I have to admit, I have not done that with Injustice, and I feel like, I partially blame my iPhone because I'm just too comfortable writing down these shit notes. But it's nothing compared. I actually had a notebook. But I probably need to start that again. And I don't know.
You absolutely have to, man, because you're gonna run into matchups or even just hitting up training mode and just going through strings and seeing what strings you can maybe down one in between or sneak a back 3 meter burn. There's some strings out there that people may not know that there's a large enough gap in the middle of strings, MK style, that you could back 3 meter burn or super. So, I'll give you an example of one is Raven string 223, that main string that's like +4. Between the 223, you could super or backdash between the last hit that puts her at +3. So there's stuff like that in this game that you've got to dig in to find. So
yeah, I just thought the training mode was a little bit better. The training mode. I know they tried and did a good job, but there's like some inconsistency. For example, you can't set the dummy to block, which causes some issues. When you're trying to test certain things, it's really, really frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
Hey, real quick, Pig, is he coming? Because it's 1:30 and I gotta be up for work at 5 to get to the hospital.
Yeah. He's
here we go.
right now.
Yeah,
he's coming right now.
I just talked to him. He's coming on.
So I'll let you guys do your thing, and then we'll
there's nothing to do. It is what it is. So whatever.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
what's up?
Who's this? Pig?
It's go ahead, Pig.
It's Pig, M2dave, and Playing to Win.
No, yeah. I just didn't recognize your voice through Skype.
Okay. So, do you have something you want to get off your chest, Rico? You want to talk about your Facebook stuff? We're all ears.
Okay. First off, good evening, gentlemen. How are you doing, Dave?
Good.
We're good, man.
We're fine, man. We're all fine.
Yeah, that was pretty set. That was a good set we played the other night. And Pig, keep avoiding me, you asshole. That's not cool.
Yeah, you know what? Black Adam isn't on my top 10 things I need to work on, so
Rico, as long as you play my side, you should be fine, man. I promise.
No, I was gonna say that. As long as I play Dave's side, I'm pretty sure I get the experience.
That's kind of funny how Dave tells me he's not as confident versus Black Adam as I am, and my comfort. I don't know, man. Whatever. Do your thing.
Right.
Throw a little Sinestro at me too. That's cool. Rico, come on.
Come on. It's fine. You do get enough. Black Adam experience, right, Pig?
No, Rico, listen. You sent me an invite the other night, and you're like, let's do. You sent me. Actually, you're one of those people I just talked about.
I said first to 10 question mark, and you were like,
dude, what is
Sinestro
that? Let me ask you something. Why would a tournament proven player like yourself say something like, "Yo, bro, first to 10," as if like the score will matter when we're just playing online trying to level up?
Yeah, that's the point, though. I don't like doing more than 10 matches. It's actually kind of boring. But anyway, I just said first attention just to get different experience from different players. I don't see how you take the other side away.
No, I didn't play, man, because I was like setting up sessions with like me and Sinestro players, because that's the number one thing in Aquaman that I've been working on. So anyway,
Rico, let me ask you this question, man. What do you think, like this community, this NRS, MK, Injustice community, what do you think their number one misconception is about you?
The usual, I guess. Cocky, whatever. Just because I don't know, because I'm swole, I guess. They think that I'm really cocky because I have muscles, or because I guess I'm decent looking, whatever the case may be.
I mean, that's kind of a cocky thing to say right there, right? I mean,
yeah, sure. Because I play Black Adam, I guess, too, and because I win more than most people, whatever the case may be. I don't know, and maybe because I just say what's like the honest truth about certain things, whatever, and they think that I'm just being stupid or too ignorant, whatever the case may be. But honestly, like I always said it before, like at first I did like the community a lot, and most of the people in it, like I even admit it, I was like a real big fan of like Pig. I thought Pig was like hella cool and stuff. But then after a while, somebody was like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna get into that because I don't even bring other people in.
No.
Whoa, go ahead. Let's bring that out. Let's go. Come on. Drop me some names.
I mean, clear the air, right? I mean, what else are we gonna do? Just shoot the shit?
Rico, hold on a second. You can't do that. Like women do that. You're not.
I know. He pretty much said he thought you were cool at one point, Pig. He's like, Pig, you were cool, but I'm not going to tell you why I don't think that anymore.
Yeah, Rico, it's okay. You can say whatever you want. Let's go.
It's not. I don't think Pig is like almighty as I did at the beginning of the States. Obviously, Pig only uses me whenever he needed a Black Adam experience, because obviously now that Sinestro is a threat, he doesn't care about me. Doesn't want to play me anymore. Fine, that's cool, Pig. Whatever. I have Dave now. Dave can give me Zod experience and Rashawn. And then two, I
so
remember.
Fuck you, Pig.
No, not like that at all. I'm not like you.
That's
but
what you said.
Oh wait, we'll get that. Just
how's that saying "fuck you, Pig"? The fuck, I really don't have nothing like personally against Pig at all.
But you were good, Pig. But not as good as you thought you were.
Yeah, but not on a level that's like, oh, you know what, Pig? Just for that, fuck you, bro. I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna go be emo now. Like not on that kind of.
All right, let me get this straight. I'm not as good as you thought I was going to be. Is that what you said?
Not cool. It's not good. I said cool. I'm not talking about like gameplay wise. You as a player.
Okay.
Oh, so you're saying personally?
Oh my god.
What are you saying? As a gameplay or personally?
I understand. He's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say like, that Pig doesn't want to give him any games, but back then he gave Pig games. Is that what you're trying to say, Rico?
Yeah, I would play whatever. So yeah, he was saying, oh, like and Rio, whatever, are the only few people I just want to play, whatever. But now that I see that obviously Black Adam is not relevant for this patch, and he thinks Adam is not a threat anymore, he won't play me at all and stuff. Because like whatever, I don't have to play Rico, blah 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 and stuff. Like
Rico, honestly, I'm understood in that regard, because you don't know me, but you can ask anybody from the MK community. When I get focused on a matchup, it's the only thing that matters. Like Mortal Kombat wasn't called Mortal Kombat to me. It was called Kabal Combat to me. I deleted everyone off my friends list unless they main Kabal. Like that's just how I am.
I guess that's how you are. I guess maybe I take it the wrong way, because in the Capcom community or whatever, we play like a bunch of sets regardless if you're gonna be at the next major and like in a couple of weeks, whatever. Because we feel that we feel like if we're both highly top players, it doesn't matter, because we don't have patterns. We're not all about gimmicks, whatever, and so it wouldn't really matter much. It would still be just good experience at the end of the day. But if the way that I see it, it makes me feel like, so basically, like if most of the MK players are like you, it makes me feel like, oh, so they just save like gimmicks for majors, and then they just hope for the best out of that, either gimmick or strategy that they have just wins.
Nah,
Okay,
that's
okay, okay, okay,
that's
okay.
a good point, but people in AE do that shit all the time. People wait,
Yeah.
they hide stuff, they keep stuff secret. You know, if certain mix-ups are exposed, top players get wind of it, they're gonna block it. At this point in AE, there's not a whole lot to be undiscovered, but you can't tell me that that was not true for AE. You
No,
can't
it
say
wasn't.
that.
The only tech that AE really had was like unblockable like setups. But other than that, Sanford and all these people, all these top of the players, we play each other like whenever we can. It's like it wasn't that serious or whatever. It's not like, oh no, I'm not gonna play you because I don't want you to figure me out. If anything, we want any of the other top players to play us, whatever, in regards just to learn the matchup experience or just to level up in general.
Did Wolf
Okay,
Crone
wait,
play
wait.
you with? Hold on. Would Wolf Crone play you with Viper Online?
Yes, me and
Because
Wolf used to play all the time. Abel and Viper all the time.
because he was another one that was infamous, and I heard it from a lot of other top players in AE that, yeah, Wolf Crone's really good, but he refuses to play me online with Viper. You know, like Banana Ken would say that to me all the time.
Well,
Or
maybe Wilcron looked at Bananakin as a threat or some way or whatever. But me and Wilcron, we like when I used to practice AE, we used to play all the time. He always picked Viper,
I
always.
got you,
And
and that's a good
if
point.
I played any character, he would tell me, "Can you please pick Ava?" And I would, I'll be like, "Okay, sure, whatever, why not?"
Okay, well,
Let me ask you
Dave,
this. I just want.
Dave,
Go ahead.
hold on, Dave. I think this is what you're going to ask. Dave asked me earlier in a thread, says, on this podcast, I want to ask Pig, why does Pig avoid playing casual games with some members of the community? So this is exactly what Rico's kind of blowing me up about. Here's my answer.
Yes.
Here's my answer. Okay, I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible. Evo 2012, me and Perfect Legend, we called each other and we said, you know what, we're going to be dedicated training partners. We're going to play every day of our life and we're going to win Evo, yada, yada, yada. We probably played the Kung Lao Melina, Kung Lao Kenshi, Kabal, Kenshi Ray, whatever. We probably played those matchups about 1,000 games between like March and June, or like maybe April to June or whatever. And who do I fight in winners finals of Evo? I fight Carl. So we look at each other and we're just kind of smiling like, yeah, high five. We did it, brother. We did it, man. Good stuff. But here's the deal. The first month that me and Carl played the Melina Kung Lao matchup, I probably won 90% of the games. I mean, I'm talking like 9-1, 9-2. Like if you are 8-2, 8-1, if you like take the first 8 or 10 games. Then at around May or June, we started going like literally 5-5. Which is good. We both leveled each other up. However, when I lost in a really close 2-1 set to Carl, I kind of took a step back and said, okay, I didn't play anybody in this tournament that me versus PL would have mattered. I would have blown everyone up anyway, and I would have played PL, and I could have beat his Kung Lao 2-0 in winners finals. He would have beat Junior Free, and I would have beat PL in grand finals of Evo 2012, never went to losers, and won 5-0 against him. And I could have been the Evo 2012 champion. I took a step back when I got third place at Evo 2012 and realized that. And people knew that I was talking to. They said, yeah, you play Carl, what, for like 1,000 games for like these past 3 or 4 months? I said, yeah, and it kind of, he got the better end of me. He was probably like just a little bit better than me as a player at the time, or probably a lot more better than me at the time, and he adapted to the matchup. And because of it, I lost to a very close 2-1 set. And so it kind of bothered me a little bit. And I was like, whatever. It probably won't happen again. Okay, well, the next, there's 2 more occasions where that happened. The most recent occasion was 4 days before Evo 2013. And I knew that if I won out my pool, got to top 16, I beat Junior. I knew I was going to beat Junior. I was like, whatever. Then if Rio won out, me and Rio would play to see who gets top 8 winners. At Evo 2013 Injustice. This is Injustice. And he said, hey, let's run the Batman and Sinestro matchup. I said, cool, man, let's do it. First 9 games, I'm up 9-1. And the first 10, so in 10 games, I'm up 9-1. And I'm thinking, God damn, man, he doesn't know this matchup at all. I better not keep playing him and teach him this matchup, so then he'll body the shit out of me at Evo. Well, what do? We played Evo. I knew Batman at the time, pre-patch, beat Sinestro. I knew it. I knew if he figured out the one thing that I knew that Batman could do that no other dumbass Batman knew how to do, he would figure it out, And I was like, there's only one fucking Batman in this world that knows how to do it. And that's the Batman I constantly train with online, Nightmare SF. I always train with Nightmare SF. He knows it. I know it. We worked on the matchup. So Rio beats me because he downloads the matchup. He understands that he needs to play exactly like Nightmare SF. He figured that out on his own accord. He beat me 2-0. Guess who I play in losers? Nightmare SF. The guy that I trained the Batman matchup with. Now, so the guy, so if Rio would have sent me that text message or online message and I said, no, dude, I'm good. I don't want to play the matchup. I might have beat him 2-0. And then guess who I played next? MF Slayer. I would have beaten him. Guess who would have been winner's top 4 at EVO 2013 Injustice? Would have been me. So there. Now I'll give you a quick other example. Saltface was 1,000% free to Sinestro. Free. And he even said, dude, this is a terrible matchup. I can't do anything. I sat there and taught him everything to do in the matchup. Saltface is my man. If he beats me, man, I'm so happy for Saltface. He's a teammate, and he did beat me because I helped him in the matchup 2-1 at CEO. I also went back and looked at that matchup. I played like shit, but whatever. The better player won. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel kind of jaded sometimes when I look back at something. I didn't need to train with this person. I didn't need to train with this person over here. I had that shit unlocked.
I completely understand you, and I agree with you in some aspect, but the way that I look at stuff like that, for instance, not in an ignorant, cocky way, too, because I always say everything I say is cocky. Like, for instance, I'm
going to say the same thing as Rico here. This is something we'll agree on. I know what he's about to say.
Because, like, okay,
I know what you're going to say, and I got a counter, but go ahead.
You know, like 3 things, right? Well, one, let me just get it out the way. Like, with Junior, for example, with Junior, I don't have to play Junior, because I don't have to play him to get better to begin with, right? Because he always goes on, I know this is a bit off topic, he goes on about how
why don't we keep it on topic, then?
How he, whatchamacallit, how he beats me at the house or whatever, this and that, right? And stuff, and I told him I don't have to play you because all you're trying to do is you're trying to counterpick me, trying to find a character that beats Black Adam like playing out, and I still play with you because I'm like whatever, because we're supposed to be homeboys, whatever, whatnot. But anyway, what I really wanted to say was, if you're playing somebody and they don't know the matchup, it doesn't make you the better player. It's not gonna make you the stronger player in the long run. I don't mind playing somebody that doesn't know the matchup at all. Even though I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't play this guy because maybe if he goes to Summer Jam or any major and I end up playing him, I know I'm going to body him. Just because he doesn't know the matchup, it doesn't make me the stronger player per se. And I'd rather have him know the matchup because this way it will make me step my game up and be the stronger player if I keep beating them consistently if they know the matchup. Because then when I come across somebody that plays that matchup and they don't do any of the stuff that the other guy does that they're used to, then I'm just blow through them because they're not on that caliber to fight me on that matchup.
I understand. And
I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why Junior's upset. I think why he's upset is because you go on Facebook and pretty much tell the entire community that you're better than them.
I thought we were keeping it on subject.
No, we are. We're talking about the subject you were talking about. You made a post in Facebook saying you're better than the entire community, but you are
don't twist my words. First of all,
this is hold on. See, Pig, timeout. This is what he does. He will never let you finish a point. This is not an educated way to carry out a conversation when you keep interrupting people. Did I interrupt you at all?
Just finish your point, and Rico can respond.
Can I?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I mean, I think why Junior's a little upset is because when you make a post saying that things are getting easier, you're better than the community, but in casuals you are struggling at times, and other times you're tearing everybody up. But to just go on there and say something like that, to just say I'm better than the community, and then but there are times when you do struggle in tournament and matchups, then people just see something like that and read it, and I don't know what your perception of that post was supposed to be, but I could tell you how it was perceived by most of the people that read it, including Junior, KDZ, myself, and a lot of people.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rico, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know why you would twist the story, as always. I don't know why. It's like you have like this good imagination where you believe that this person said this and that, whatever. I said, what did I exactly say? I said it's getting easier, or something, whatever, and I'm just looking for a good competition. And last time I remember that Facebook group page, I thought it was more of an online like scene. I wasn't referring to my local scene. I wasn't referring to any player directly at all. Because if that was the case, then that's like me telling Chris, like, "Hey, Chris, you're pretty easy. You're free, dude. Like, step your shit up." If anything, Chris was the one that came like close to beating me, like, and at the last next level, like pretty close, whatever. So like on the last game, and that's not the case. Once again, I thought that the page was an online scene where people exchange gamer tags. So obviously I don't know, maybe it was poor choice of words or whatever the case may be. And I find it funny now that you and Junior exchange little detail that's supposed to struggle in casuals.
That's not what I said, Rico. I said that
You just
sometimes
said that I
you struggle
struggle
in
in
casuals and other times you do very well. So don't leave that out, right? Because I said you do well
anyway,
and sometimes you struggle.
point is,
Right?
I don't know why
So that was a
people,
counterpoint to your point that was clearly wrong that you just said, but go ahead.
right. I don't know why people take casual matches into account of anything at all. It's not like there's money on the line, there's anything on the line. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people actually play a lot different when there is money on the line. And a lot of people, when they play casual, hence casual, they just do like, oh, I'm just test this out and just go a little bit bananas or whatever the case may be and whatnot. Um, Excuse me. But yeah, casuals don't really mean anything, so I really don't care what happens in casuals.
Okay.
And as for tournaments, no, I don't even that was the case. If I did mint it in a cocky way, which is not the point, or the way that I meant it, at the same time, it's like I will want the scene to get stronger because I don't want to go like I wouldn't want to play like a different coast or different scene, and like how do I say it? Just because if the scene you're in doesn't get stronger, obviously you as a player, you're not gonna get stronger. And once again, was nothing directly about the break, nor Lex level, nor none of that. I just went on that Facebook page because I thought it was an online thing. Because when I do play on Xbox Live, I really, really don't ever really lose on
Okay.
Xbox Live.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a
Yes, sir.
question? So what you just said is that this post is not referring to casual play because it doesn't mean a whole lot, and I agree with you on that. So,
No, it wasn't
sure- hold
referring
on.
to like the break or next level.
but
You said
but the
you
only
brought up
tournament
like it matters something.
the only tournaments that you've been playing in since TFC, which congrats for that, by the way, you did good, is that the only tournaments you've been playing locally is at the break and at next level. So are you referring
Next
to the
level.
scene there? Are you
No, I just-
referring to
no, I
your
wasn't. I said that I wasn't referring to the offline scene. I thought that Injustice group Facebook group page was an online scene where people really exchange gamer tag. Because the free time I go there, people just talk about either matchup or exchanging PSN gamer tag or Xbox Live gamer tag.
But
So
you
I'm
just
simply-
said this wasn't directed at the casual scene. You said it was directed at the tournament
I didn't
scene.
say
Casual.
casual play. I thought you mean casual play, like whatever me and Junior have at the house, whatever like stuff like that. Casual gameplay.
All right. Well,
I wasn't-
that you just had to
casual
clarify that because you say it's not directed at casual play, but then you say you're looking for casual play.
Well, if he's talking about Xbox Live and like the general players of Xbox, I said they're freaking horrible. Even I said the players on P.
But
dude,
no, but
a player
MJ,
on-
this is not what he said. He's not directing. This post
Yeah,
was
I'm
not
here's what I
directed.
understand. What's
No,
the
you're
This post
getting
is
at-
not
here's
directed at.
even here's what I understand. Like, why isn't a player allowed to brag? Even if it was a bragging around or about himself, why is that all of a sudden forbidden or something?
But
I would have no issue if Rico Suave says right now he beat me with a Black Adam match. He's better than me. I was like, okay, fine. Is that what you think? Maybe I'll beat you next time. I'll claim I'm better than you and see how you like that. I just don't understand like why people are not allowed to brag in this community anymore. If he wants to brag, let him brag all he wants.
But see, Dave, but I really don't brag.
Even
Honestly,
if
I already think.
I'm not saying.
So
you did.
how
I'm
would
saying-
you perceive this? And I quote, "Is there anyone that can give me a run for my money? Don't know if it's me, but things are getting easier. I don't know." Now, someone that personally doesn't know you, you wouldn't perceive that as like a bragging statement. And
I
like
don't know.
Mario said,
I
if that's
talked-
what it is, and that's fine. It is what it is. But
I talked to Rico maybe once before on Skype. It was like a week ago, and I didn't get that impression he was bragging. I just don't like understand why people would take that post like to heart. Even if he says he's not bragging, okay. Even if he was, I don't see what the big deal is.
So I guess I'm looked as a bad guy because I'm just trying to look for like stronger opponents and stuff, or just because I question about something, and just
Hey,
because I wasn't. Once again, it wasn't directly about nothing offline scene. And once again, I don't know if you keep mixing up casual players or casuals. What happens at like Junior's house? Because if it comes to get casual players, I'm not even referring to that because like whatever. And so yeah,
this
I
was
guess
directed at online.
Well,
Online.
let's say this. Let's just forget about the Facebook thing. Let me ask
I
you,
don't-
Rico. Let me ask you this. Why is your beef between you and playing to win? Because I see you both. In my opinion, you're both high-level players. I respect you both. I played you both, and you guys are obviously players who know what the hell they're doing. So I can't see why there has to be animosity between the both of you. Can you explain?
I knew Matt. Obviously, we're from the Capcom community.
Yeah.
You know, Matt. Honestly, whatever. I thought he was a great guy, cool guy, whatever, very chilled and stuff. The whole how this thing got started. It was winners finals in our pool. So as I'm going up to him, whatever, as I'm sitting down plugging in my stick, I'm telling him like, oh, I don't know why you and Woon downplay Sinestro, and then he just turns green, starts getting bigger, and yells at me and curses me out. Oh, shut the fuck up! Stop saying that, blah blah. And I looked at him. I'm like, are you serious? Like, can you lower your voice? Because I'm not screaming at you, and I'm not cursing at you. So, I would appreciate if you do the same. No, man, blah blah. So he just keeps on. So I don't like dealing with people when they do stupid shit like that. So I even told him, I was like, oh, can we just play then? Can we just play? He keeps talking. I'm obviously agitated by it. I just want to play. Like, I don't want to talk anymore now. I just want to play. So we play, right? Hold on. You don't interrupt me, right? I'm almost finished. And then, so he ends up beating me, right? So then as he beats me, he unplugged his stuff, whatever, like, it's the end of the world, some stuff, and he storms off, like, halfway through the venue. And then he looks at me, like, on some cowboy shit. So then, I get up and I walk. I'm like, whatever, that's how it is. And then I have people coming up to me. Yeah, dude, why were you talking shit to Playing to Win? I'm like, I didn't say anything during the whole match. No, he was saying he was talking shit. I'm like, no, I didn't. He didn't. Oh, yeah, that's the reason why he didn't shake your hand. I'm like, but I didn't say anything. So if he wants to say that and make it seem like I was being the dick, then be my guest. So then he comes up to me after 30 minutes of that, right? I'm talking to Flozilla and other people. Oh, come on, let's you want to be a man about it, let's talk about it on the side. I told him, no, thank you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care. Congratulations on making it out of your pool. Whatever you do, don't go to losers. All right, whatever. So he comes back again 30 minutes later. I'm talking to Flozilla and other people. So he comes in and annoys me again. Come on, you're being childish now, but let's go talk about it. I tell him to fuck off, leave me alone. I already told you once, I already told you twice. Then I'll be the bad guy if I really go off on you or say something or whatever and stuff, right? So then he's like, he says whatever, some crap. And I end up telling him, like, whatever, dude, I don't care. Keep crying more about, like, Black Adam and all the other stuff with your people, whatever. I
never cried about Black Adam. I beat your Black Adam.
Yeah, okay, good stuff.
All right.
What happened at top 8 again in losers?
I lost to your Aquaman, who...
Yeah,
congratulations.
All I did was Trident. That's all it takes to beat your Sinestro, just Trident.
At that time, it was, yeah. But are you? Yeah. Go ahead and finish so I can make my point.
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole story because you want to make it seem.
I still got something to say when you guys are done. But keep going.
So all I want to say is that, Rico, one of the things that you mentioned is perceptions tonight. Is you made that post on Facebook. It wasn't perceived the way that you wanted it to be perceived. So, I get to TFC Friday night and King and I meet up with you and, hey man, it's been a while, good times, whatever. So we go up to my room and we're playing, and, at first I thought you were just joking around with us, and you kept making these comments like, you guys in this community always cry about my character getting nerfed, and you guys always cry about this, cry about that. And then, like, I was like, well, who are you referring to when you say these you guys, and you never really clarified. So then, I'm assuming that you're talking about all the online scrubs, and then you're playing King. You guys had a great set. You played for a few hours. It went back and forth, and then that was the end of the night, and then we sit down to play our top 8 set, and then you didn't say you and Wound. You said you guys always want to keep downplaying your character. And what Rico said at this point is true. I snapped and I said, "Why the fuck do you keep grouping me with this 'you guys' statement? Who are these you guys that you keep talking about?" So look, Rico, this is obviously going to be a he said she said match. But you got to say your piece. Let me say mine, and then we can agree to disagree and be done with it. So it is. So I did snap. I said, "Why do you keep grouping me with these you guys? You guys, what are you fucking talking about? Why are you grouping me with these online scrubs or whoever you're talking about? Because I'm not one of those." And then he got pissed off and he just said, "Let's just play. Just play. Just play." The set finished. I walked away.
Pause. Pause. It came out of your mouth. The set finished and I said, "Let's play." So meaning I didn't talk shit during the whole set.
You never answered. Want to make sure. Who are you referring to when you say you guys? Who did you keep referring to for 2 hours a night before?
Once again, I know what I said. You and Wunkaba, because you guys are the only real ones that play Sinestro. So I was talking about that character. And then number two, you just said right now, I said, "Let's play." The set was finished, meaning I didn't talk shit at all. And you just storm off. So please continue.
And I have nothing really else to say, man. But look, the one thing I will tell you is this. I've been somewhat of an acquaintance to you for a few years now. We've seen each other at events. What's up? It is what it is. Like, we've been cool. Like, we both played low tier characters and had some success in that game. You more than me in some senses with your Abel. But like, I truly have no beef with you. But when I tell you that I got upset when you kept grouping me with this you guys people you keep talking about, I kept getting upset because I kept asking you the night before and then, like, who are you referring to, you guys? Are you talking? You wouldn't clarify. And John, you didn't say you and Wound, and this is where I think this conversation's going to hinder on is what your perception of it was and what my perception of it was. So in the end, we barely know each other. In my opinion, it's not a real educated thing to do on either of our parts to be upset with someone that we barely know. So I attempted to squash it, be done with it, but it was my perception of it that you just wanted to let it linger and that you were done with it. You didn't want to talk about it at all, and that's fine with me. On that one stream, Fantastic was on there and he said, "Yeah, it's squashed." I'm thinking, that's squashed. I'll never hear anything else about it. And then I hear that I did nothing but disrespect you, but what I'm hearing right now is your perception of what happened is different than mine, and we can either agree to disagree or we could squash it and be done with it. So I'll leave that up to you. Either way, whatever. I'd like to see you at events and be cool, because for me, this is a hobby. I only play a couple times a week. I travel. I have a job, a wife, a kid, another one on the way. Like, this is a hobby for me. And that's all. So I'll leave it in your hands now, John. And I've said my piece, and that's it.
So Rico, what do you think? Are you still there?
I think he hung up.
Did he hang up?
Yeah, I think he hung up.
Well, I mean, what more else do you need to know about the guy then, right?
Maybe he lost connection. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, maybe he lost connection.
No, yeah, he might have lost connection. He lost connection when we played too, so maybe it happened.
All right, well, yeah, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if he comes back. Okay, well, until he comes back, we'll just keep it going or whatever.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say really quick.
Go ahead.
And I meant to finish up with it says call dropped. Here, let me call him back.
Yeah, he probably just dropped.
I'm wondering how much of that I said long-winded now, and he didn't even hear it. So I don't want to freaking repeat myself.
Well, I was going to finish up on what I was saying about the whole, Rio, Perfect Legend, this and that and everything. I will admit, after months of training with PL and the one maybe 80 game set I had with Rio that one day, they beat me at respective tournaments in the following because they were the better player that day. And if I would have beaten them, maybe I wouldn't have been the better player because I would have been because they didn't know what the matchup was. But I will say this about, in defense to myself, I was able to overcome the dreaded Perfect Legend Kung Lao with Kenshi at the most recent top 8, the most recent CEO tournament and other casuals that we had. So I'm not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you guys. Shit.
And I beat Tom's Kung Lao 8-0 in a money match, which never mind, we're not gonna talk about that. Tom's gonna castrate me.
I'm gonna tell you guys something that you could give him the benefit of the doubt or whatever, but from what I know about the dude, and again, you've heard what piece I had to say. I would not put it past him to have just hung up in the middle of that just because he didn't want to hear anymore. So,
okay. Well, we can move on. We can move on. Yeah.
I mean, is he? Are you still calling him, or what's up with him?
Yeah. I'm clicking like every time. People can see.
He can watch this. You could send him a link to it and say you could listen to what Plan to Win has to say. But I'm not repeating myself.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying. No, if he hung up, that's his business. But I'm just trying to I'm just trying to be fair to everybody. And if we finish by the time he comes back, we can give him another chance. Maybe the next time we do the show. I'm just trying to be fair to to all of our guests that come on the show. Pig, do you have anything else on the agenda that you wanted to talk about?
I kind of want to go back to where we started this whole thing, Youmacon.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that and NEC a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
I'm excited, man. We get another chance to compete this weekend. Mario, M2dave, and I have been really grinding hard. We've been taking this game serious. I'm better now than I was at TFC. I'm traveling with two of the best people in the country, and Forever King and M2dave, and I really like. I'm not one for guarantees, but I would be surprised if all three of us were not in the top 8 at this event.
I agree.
Right. What about I'm excited. I haven't gone to a tournament since UFGT actually, so I'm excited. And I'll we'll talk about we're traveling together. I'll talk to that privately to Matt. But I want to know, Pig, are you confirmed for NEC?
Yeah, I'm confirmed for NEC. I'm going. All the RDK guys are going to be there. Me, Tyrant, and Godspeed. And I fly up there. I work until 1 a.m. Friday night. Okay. So I'm going to send a message to, I think, like Big E, Sweet Johnny Cage, to say, yo, please, can you get me in the latest possible pools for Killer Instinct and Injustice? Please, 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 because I don't want to miss my fucking pool. But those guys were amazing. They helped me out Fall Classic. They put me in the bottom last pool. For same situation. I have to work Fridays for my job, and that Friday I'm actually going to be like in Knoxville, and so I'll actually fly that morning, Saturday morning, 6 a.m. from Knoxville to Philadelphia. So whatever, I'll make it work. So yeah, I mean, I'm confirmed. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be a very tough out for anybody who's in my way. I have aspirations to make top 8. Actually, it's interesting because this comes full circle. I had 15 straight top 8s in Mortal Kombat 9.
Damn.
And in Mortal Kombat 9, my first top 8 began with NEC 2011. And this is my first time back since. So it's kind of come full circle with me. So I realize that 16-bit reminds me of that constantly. I want to do it. So
okay, go finish up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I plan to compete heavy in Killer Instinct. I plan to compete even heavier in Injustice, and I think I got a really good shot. I think if people are expecting the level of Zod that was at the Fall Classic, they kind of have everything coming.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things. I don't know. I talked to Dave. I'm not going to talk about it on here, but there's a lot of things I talked to Dave about. We're always leveling each other up and stuff. Exactly. And I fully expect Plan to Win to be top 4 at minimum. I expect Dave to be top 8 with me. I expect me and Zod. I expect Dave and I to somehow meet in top 8 on a Zod off.
That would be amazing. I've never
Nobody
seen
wants to see
that.
and that's as bad as Sinestro off.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and here's the
not
deal.
as bad, but it's very trade heavy.
If I get to top 8 and Dave's in top 8, we play each other. I don't give a shit who wins that. I'm gonna yes. Let's trade up. I will shake Dave's hand and say, listen, the first thing we do is hit our trade button, and let's just start swiping.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
I promise I won't dick you and just go and rushing you. I'll do it. That'd be funny.
I'm not 100% confirmed for NEC, but whether I'm not or I am, we'll see. But I'll definitely. Because Pig, he's helped me a lot in this game. He actually kind of, was in part the inspiration for me to pick this here. Because I hit.
You're on the fence, man.
yeah, but like once Deathstroke was nerfed, I was like, you know what, maybe this game, is just I did very well for myself in MK9, but maybe this just wasn't meant for. And actually, let me ask you guys, what are the plans after NEC? Because I know, Matt, you kind of talked maybe you're gonna take some time off because you.
Well, look, like I said, this is a hobby for me. I have another kid on the way, and they'll be 15 months apart, and it's I don't know. I guess I want to see how Youmacon and NEC goes, and then we'll kind of play it by ear. But I think that I might be getting close to my end in this scene because I'm a little bit older than the majority of the scene, and I do love it, but I don't know. It's hard to say at this point. Like, it's hard to say.
I don't blame you. I'm thinking actually kind of the same way. I mean, you and I, we've been playing, for a long, long time. And I definitely see what where what you're trying to say. What about you, Pig? I mean, what are your plans for next year? Are you still gonna play, or
if I get 9th, 39th, first, 64th at NEC, I can't quit. I don't know what the word quit means. I will be at the next available major I can be at. I'll be at Final Round, my hometown. I'll be at EVO 2014. I'll be, my schedule, it's hard. But any major I can make work, I'll definitely be there. I don't know. I don't know. I want to play the game and I want to do well. And eventually, I'm going to be in the same boat as Matt next year, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay.
So, in other words, I'm going to really suck in as much as I can.
Well, I'll make a Pig, you and I have talked briefly about that, and we won't get into this too much, but, that's a big topic in the scene right now is can you make a living doing this gaming thing? And unless you're at the level of like a Justin Wong, I don't think that is a possibility. I think that the community has to be real. You've got to understand that this is a hobby, and hobbies are something you can take serious and put time into, but you guys have got to have a backup plan. You've got to be, in school or, doing some kind of job, but this cannot be the number one in your lives. And I'm just being realistic to you guys that this is fun. It's a hobby. You get to compete. Of course, it's easier to stay home and play video games all day than wake up and go to a job. But, guys, I'm not sure if many of you know what I do, but I put in 60 hours a week sometime and at a hospital and do my thing. But I get to play a couple nights a week, and I get to majors, and I make some top 8s, and it's all worth it for me. Of course, I want to win. But, real life, you've got to take a step back sometimes and just double check yourself, because all of a sudden you could be in your late 20s and life can sneak up on you and you can be like, oh, wow, now what? So that's my only spiel on that. I'm not mom and dadding you guys, but like this scene is strong. I wish that I could tell you guys that keep grinding. You'll be a pro. You'll get a signed contract and $100,000 a year and travel to all the events, but that does not exist, guys. That's not where it's at. That's not where it's at.
I think you said it. You said it perfectly. And even I, many won't believe it, but as a teacher, you gotta do what's.
Time out. How many of you out there would ever think that M2dave was a freaking teacher? Isn't that hilarious? Like,
but I joke around, I fun around. I love the community. I love trolling, and everybody knows that. But you gotta have like Matt said, as a backup. You definitely gotta go to school, man. This is all fun. We enjoy the community. We enjoy seeing each other, interacting, talking games about each other. I love it. But you gotta, it's not really yet. You can't make a living. There's some of us like Justin Wong, a combo fiend who can have careers from it, who actually make good money. But
that's less than 0.00001%.
Exactly.
And
that's what it is, and that's the reality of it. So.
Yeah, and Matt and I talked about this a lot recently, and I basically game because I do have a job.
Right.
I'm able to finance my hobby. This isn't life. This is a hobby that I enjoy, that I've met some of the coolest people that I will ever meet anywhere. Mm-hmm. Different personalities, backgrounds, just everything, intangibles. I would have never met 16-bit had it been from Mortal Kombat. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. I probably text him more than I text 90% of my people that I'm friends with. It's weird, but I met him through Mortal Kombat. And same with you guys. I mean, same with a lot of people. I mean, I actually, my best friend to this day, I met playing Mortal Kombat Deception, Mike, and now we're like best friends. Our wives hang out and everything.
Miso fly.
Yeah, Miso fly. and I mean, so use it as a tool for life, like a hobby for life that just allows you to capture happiness, whatever part that needs this part. Needs this kind of aspect in your life, but don't let it direct and dictate and become your life. Now, hold on. There are some people that can make a living that work for production companies. They work for different video game making companies, and they're in the business. Okay, that's different. They've taken a hobby and made it a career, but that's a legitimate career because they're actually like employed and working. They're not like training to try to win a tournament to maybe have a paycheck. Mm-hmm. So it's different. But for me, I get an education, get a job, so I can do what I want to do.
Yeah. And it's funny, the introspective part of that you brought up. Like for me, I wrestled through high school, all the way through college. I was a multiple state placer. I won state freestyle Greco, was on national teams, went to college and wrestled, graduated, did the med school thing, and now I'm doing this. And for me, this community, this hobby is competition. I can't wrestle like I did in college. I can't compete, but for me, this is a chance to compete. For me, this is chess in a different form. I'm using my mind. I get to challenge myself and learn, and it's competition. So
verbatim what Matt just said, verbatim, because like the same pig that says FGD, ass, shit, all this stuff today playing video games was the same pig playing defensive back on a football team or tennis one-on-one, throwing my racket. I swear to God, throwing my racket.
That's amazing.
I was fighting this one guy named Brad Mayer. And
I see a meme coming.
Beat me in a tennis game, and I just grabbed my racket and said, God, fuck it, and just like throw it as hard as I can. It hit a senior's car and bust his windshield. So much shit. I mean, I obviously couldn't finish the game. It was only like set number 2, and I mean, same pig. I mean, the competitive aspect of me hasn't changed. It's just gone to a healthier place to where I can compete. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you get the point. I mean, I'm still. What you said. We take our competitive fires into other places. It's nice, but do I enjoy it in the end? Hell yeah! Losing, winning, I enjoy it. It's great.
Mario, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that a little bit more, but I have a question that might be good to kind of lead us out. Something I'm dying to know, and
go ahead.
Where names? Where did Pig of the Hut come from? Where did M2dave come from? Playing to win came because I couldn't think of anything better to describe myself that I want to win. Where do these names come from? Pig of the Hut and M2dave.
Pig, you want to go ahead?
I mean, yeah, mine's pretty quick and easy. 1996, 1997, when I bought my first Xbox, it said enter gamer tag. I said, wow, this seems like I never thought about it in my life before. I said, well, I played Warcraft 3 and I was using this name. Whatever. I want to get a new name. I said, oh, let me think. This is a very easy, cheap way to promote my band's name, which at the time was Pig Hut, Pighut. And there's still some like live performance music clips or whatever on YouTube from back in the day of Pig Hut, and you'll find a lot of interesting pictures, videos, whatever. And we opened up for like 30 Seconds to Mars, KMFDM, MDFMK, Orgy back when they were relevant, Godhead.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, we sold 2003. We sold a song to the Atlanta Falcons using a TV commercial. We had like a lot of good success. We were doing really well, and then I'm not going to get into that, but it should happen. But back to the original question, it said, "What would you want your gamer tag to be?" I was like, "Yeah, cheap way to market my band even further on a video game world." And I said, "Pig of the Hut," because I started the band, so I was like, "I'm Pig of the Hut." So I entered it, and that was it. And then today, that name actually probably means more to me than the band did.
Mario, real quick, before Mario goes, my original name, Pig, you might remember this, was Abla Kerbla. Do you remember that back in the day? Do you have any idea where that's from?
Oh, no.
Go watch Braveheart. Oh. After Mel Gibson's first big speech on the battlefield, he's like, blah, I blah, kerblah. And I thought that was the funniest shit I've ever heard. So that was my original name, but now it's Playing to Win. So
Well,
I
for
should
me,
still use
yeah,
Hot Block.
yeah. Well, for me, honestly, like M2dave, like M stands for Mario, and Dave is my brother's name. So it originally was gonna be like a account, like a gaming account on GameFAQs. You know what I mean? Like, because we were just like,
Yeah.
I didn't know it would, eventually get this far. Like, okay, I was gonna be, a fighting game player. It was just something, like stupid, like for, gaming, because it was just pretty much it. There's nothing really much, else to it other than that.
Yeah. Well, all right, I was always interested. I'm sure I always like to hear about where people's crazy names come from, but
Yeah, it's always like I didn't know anything. Like a pig, I didn't know. I didn't know about that at all, actually, and I've known him for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a very cheap way of me trying to scandal my way to market my band.
yeah. How'd that work out?
Not at all.
Yeah,
No one gave a shit. They're like, yeah, fuck you. I just buyed you 5-0. Learn the Scorpion matchup, bitch. Darius matchup. Actually, Dave. I could see Dave saying, "You need to learn how to dodge Tombstone Drop."
Oh, you play Dairu? You like Dairu?
No, Dave liked Dairu. Dave's a dick.
Oh, Dairu was my main in Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
I was Kabal, Darius, and Havoc.
Dude, Mortal Kombat Armageddon was such a game with so many flaws, but I love that game. I loved it.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know, but that's, how we started, right? That's the game that...
For me, it was, yeah.
Deception, of course, that's how we got into this whole thing.
I absolutely agree. I think 90% of the people on TYM all started in a vague way around Deception and Armageddon. We know all of our names back from then. It's really weird how Deception was really like the birth of what it is, what we have now.
And I encourage people to read, if they have time, read one of those, the threads that Dinky is making right now. Test Your Mind, because they're very interesting. They talk about some of that stuff, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I want. Go ahead. I do want to end with some major props to some people before we leave.
Okay, just sure. I just want to, just before you piece us out, I just want to say, if Rico, want to give him a chance, we want to be fair to him. If he wants to come, next show, talk about,
I don't know what else there's to say. The dude said his piece.
I'm just saying,
my
not
piece.
Just general, not just about you, about you, his deal with you, his beef with you, but just like in general, if he wants to clear up some misconception, and he can have the chance on this show, and I'm pretty sure people will agree.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm kind of with Matt on this. I think, I don't know. I'll text him after and say, hey, did you just drop out of the call or what? Like, what happened? Okay. But on a positive note, I want to thank Emperor Theo. That guy has leveled me up beyond anything in the past, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him.
Same here. He's a great player.
That dude's incredible. The nicest guy I've ever been like. He'll bust my balls, but he does it in a funny way. I've never played someone, him and Cowboy, but really Theo has just been incredible to play. His reads, his reactions, his punishes, he's just spot on. I'm telling you people at NEC, you probably are not ready for Theo. I guarantee top 2, top 3 for Theo. I don't want to say that. Actually, I take that back because I don't want to jade him. But that guy is a great player. I'm not going to say
huh?
He's legit. You know what really is cool about Theo is finally, other than Tom, by far the most accomplished Aquaman there is by far, the most accomplished by far. However, I want to say this. It feels really fucking good to finally have another Aquaman. If you guys fear Aquaman, you need to be fearing Theo and Tom Brady. But also, I'm not looking over those guys, Insane and Ryu. I'm not looking over those guys, and I haven't played those guys, so I can't comment for or against them. But I will comment positively for Theo. Also, Theo, unlike KDZ, Theo thinks he's better now with Superman than he was pre-patch, and KDZ has said that. Especially on that Facebook conversation I was just reading, he was bitching about the Superman nerfs. Theo constantly tells me how Superman's still top 5 and people have no idea what they're talking about. So the most hype match that I want to see is actually not Tom Brady versus Theo. I want to see Theo versus KDZ. And I got right now, if anybody wants to take me up on it, first person who puts $50 on KDZ, it's I'll take it. Let's go. I got $50 on Theo.
Man, put it out there, man.
No, Theo,
I'm there.
Theo,
I'm
I
there,
fight
man.
him. Yeah, he's just. There's some people in this community who are great players, and I feel like there's some who are elite, and he's definitely, in my eyes, one of them. And as is, by the way, Wound Cowboy.
And I would say, and Forever King is in that category.
Exactly, and he's also in that.
Yeah.
There's some people who show up to tournaments. You say, you know what, this guy's probably gonna win it, and they usually do.
So like Rio,
Rio, absolutely. You know, those kind of people.
Playing Theo feels like playing Rio in Mortal Kombat Kabal. I mean, like just like the reads, like what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just feels
You know
good.
what, Pig? You know, and now that we're talking about Theo, and this is purely for the competition, I am confident enough to say that for as good of a player as Theo is, he still is not ready for the vortex that I have. And if Theo wants, I would love to maybe, if we want to do something streamed, like a first to 10 or something, you know, for whatever. But I honestly I am beyond confident playing against anybody that doesn't know me as a player or know my character yet the way I use them, because I mean, M2dave can attest to this. You will not adapt to what I do in the first 5 to 10 games of playing me. It'll take some time. So, you know, as the game evolves and as people play me, yeah, they'll even it up. It'll get better. But out of the box, I just don't think. I don't know. I would be. I know Theo's good, but I think that I would do extremely well versus his Superman. His Aquaman, different story probably, but
yeah, Eddie. People who don't know the mix-up with, you know, who have never defended against it before, against Sinestro's Vortex, are gonna have a very difficult time, unless they like pick Aquaman or something, or like maybe Martian Manhunter.
And it's important to say that it's not. There are multiple layers to the Vortex. It's not block left, block right.
I mean, it's a Vortex. That stuff that people do with Killer Frost, no, that's not a Vortex, people. That's a 50-50 mix-up, you know. The stuff that they do with Killer Frost, that's not a Vortex, that's a 50-50 mix-up. That's, you know, that's MK Deception style. That's what we used to do, you know, 6-7 years ago. This stuff with Sinestro, that's a Vortex. There's multiple layers to it. It's not just, let me hit you high, let me hit you low. You know, it's more than that.
Who's winning Umicon?
King.
I would
pick
one of us three. Can I be safe, or do you want me to make a prediction?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, make a prediction. I'll take either.
I will say that my scene is going to win Umicon free, whether it's King, me, or M2dave. One of us is winning Umicon. I'll say that.
What do you think about your chances versus the 3 GGA guys coming up?
Well, if they are indeed coming, because I thought I heard recently that they may not be coming, Mario.
60-bit told me, I don't want to, you know, get through my text messages right now, but he said that they're looking. I don't think they're coming, and they're instead attending a tournament in Indianapolis or something like that.
Well, all I would say to GGA is mad respect for what they're doing, and 16-bit, who I also think's a cool dude, but you better rush me down and not let me get started, because none of those dudes will be able to block my shit either. So that's it. I mean,
I like it.
I mean, it's not, no offense to those guys, but they're not ready for it. That's all you know.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, well, let's end the show on that note. That's good.
Guys, it's awesome. You know, if there's ever a permanent home that you need to fulfill on this show, I would love it. I don't know what the feedback from the community is. If you guys want to hear more from my point of view or things I have to say, or you absolutely hate me, it's all good. Just yeah, man, good times. I appreciate the chance to speak my mind a little bit and be a part of this.
Yeah, I thought this was probably the best episode Kryptonite Council's ever done. I think this is a lot of good stuff we've covered. But, you know, we'll see what the community thinks. But, I mean, personally, I love it. It's awesome.
And the big question mark, did Rico hang up or not?
Yeah.
Find on the next episode of
XCP. That's awesome.
All right, guys. I'm signing off. Thanks.
Yeah, we're out, guys. That's been episode 10 of the Kryptonite Council podcast. We're out. See you guys.